Chapter 337. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was ready to take a gamble. He believed that the seal in Zhang Zhong's hand was fake. If no one investigated this matter, it would be the truth. Anyway, the words on the seal were the same. If he still had a real seal, no one would dare to say that it was fake. But the real seal was not in his hand. It was in Shan Yuan's hand. As long as Shan Yuan said that he picked it up, he and Registrar Zhan could report it to the imperial court. Why could an official have two seals? What was with the fake seal? At that time, even if Zhang Zhong did not die, he would lose a layer of skin. And he and others might not have an easy time. What was he thinking? Usually, some deputy county magistrate could even use the seal of the county magistrate to do things. Did the county magistrate want to use the seal and you don't return it to him? Even so, it was better than him and others suffering. Zhang Zhong was complacent. Well, he must pull Zhang Zhong into this. Thinking of this, Deputy County Magistrate Xiao said those words to Zhang Zhong and then ran out of the signing room. He saw Shan Yuan being taken to that direction just now. Zhang Zhong looked at the door and then turned back to look at Registrar Zhan. He asked, "Don't you want to go and have a look?" "Sir, I will follow you." "I won't go there." Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was so anxious that he wanted to keep the money that should be given to the government office. "I don't think so." Registrar Zhan looked at Zhang Zhong's fearless face and did not dare to follow him. He had lived for almost 30 years and had never seen such a strong person like Zhang Zhong. He also had never seen anyone who could be better than Zhang Zhong. He had only been in Huayuan County for a few days. He had done what he should do. He had won the hearts of the people he should win and earned the money he should earn. He had been busy following Deputy County Magistrate Xiao for a few days. As a result, the Yamen runners who used to be obedient were gone. The money that was given out could not be collected. The people who were locked up were released. It was not easy to go out for a meal. What was the point of fighting? County Magistrate Wan was not at the same level as Zhang Zhong. No wonder he went to Zhangjia Zhuangzi and never came back. Zhang Zhong looked at Registrar Zhan and hesitated. He didn't know if he should get rid of him or protect him. Either way, it was easy to handle. Both had their pros and cons. "Sir, what else can I do?" "Oh, there is still work in the mountains. I can take some money from my family to buy some things and send them there. What do you think?" How could Registrar Zhan not know that a single thought from Zhang Zhong could decide his future? He thought of an idea and asked Zhang Zhong. Zhang Zhong did not expect Registrar Zhan to surrender so quickly. He thought for a while and said, "Registrar Zhan, you can't continue to be Registrar Zhan. You can submit a letter of apology to your superiors and be a copywriter. Registrar Shan and Deputy County Magistrate Xiao will not be working in the future. You can take the position of copywriter. Keep some of your 5,000 strings of coins for yourself. When the time comes, rent the place at the foot of the mountain for 3 years. As for the rest of the money, just like what you said just now, buy some things for the people in the county. You know what the people lack, right? It can't be more expensive than the usual business." Registrar Zhan knelt down in front of Zhang Zhong and said gratefully, Sir, I will write it later. I will be a copywriter and buy things for the people. What the people lack most now is food. It's all my fault, Deputy County Magistrate Xiao and County Magistrate Wen's fault. We collected an extra year's rent and didn't give them a reduction in rent when we worked more hours. Even if I were to be cut into pieces, it would be a light punishment. My lord, I didn't keep a single copper coin and used it all to buy food. Keep it. You can't have no money at home. A poor official is not necessarily a good one. Only when your family is stable can you put your mind on the people. In the future, you will be in charge of the matters on the mountain. Half a month later, if any of the people says that you are not good, you don't have to do the documents anymore. The reason why Zhang Zhong did this was to put on a show and make preparations for the future. He wanted to tell his future opponents that as long as they didn't go too far, there was still room for negotiation. He wanted to keep one alive and fight the other. Registrar Zhan did not care about what he was used for. He just wanted to protect himself now. Shan Wendi and Deputy County Magistrate Xiao were finished. If they were to report, they would have to report it to the Ministry of Personnel first. The officials there would not let them off easily. As long as they were in charge, they would have their own deputies. If they did not teach these two people a lesson, what if their deputies learn from them in the future? What would happen then? Well, you can do it now. Zhang Zhong finished speaking and walked out with his hands behind his back. Registrar Zhan stood up and ran to the desk. He started to write a letter of apology. In a house in a courtyard behind the yamen, two bodyguards were listening to Shan Yuan. Shan Yuan did not need to be forced to confess. He just said it directly. However, what he said had nothing to do with the seal. The two guards were not in a hurry and sat down to listen. It's like this. Just now, I said that when the county magistrate came to the county, only 3 people went to welcome him. I didn't go. This may have offended the county magistrate. But I had no choice at that time. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was waiting for me there. Let's not talk about this first. Let's talk about that first. Why didn't the county magistrate let others take the seal? I think that a person as powerful as the county magistrate should have people around him who have done everything well. As long as the county magistrate says something, everyone can do it. After all, the county magistrate is capable. For example, Zhangjia Zhuangzi. Shan Yuan talked to the 2 guards. Seeing that the 2 guards did not torture him, he was relieved. He thought that he could leave later. As long as he went home, he would give the seal to Deputy County Magistrate Xiao. He would not do this anymore. While he was talking, the door of the room was suddenly kicked open from the outside. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao came in and said to Shan Yuan directly, "Don't say so much to them. The county magistrate's seal was picked up by us. The one he is using now is a fake one. You and I will report it together." Looking at Deputy County Magistrate Xiao, who rushed in and listened to his words, Shan Yuan was dumbfounded. The 2 guards, however, laughed. One of them winked at the other. The other stood up and caught Deputy County Magistrate Xiao. "Separate them. Ask what kind of seal the county magistrate used and where he picked it up." A guard said. The 2 guards covered the mouths of Shan Yuan and Deputy County Magistrate Xiao at the same time in case they colluded. At this time, Deputy County Magistrate Xiao felt that something was wrong. When he looked at Shan Yuan, there was an inexplicable sadness in Shan Yuan's eyes. He did not say anything just now. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao thought about it carefully and understood. He regretted in his heart. Why did he rush in? When he was dragged out by the guards, he did not struggle. He closed his eyes and let them do whatever they want. After Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was taken away, Shan Yuan, who was released by the guards, did not need to be asked. He said directly, "I will tell you everything. You are such a good-for-nothing. We arranged for someone to steal the county magistrate's seal. Shan Yuan accepted his fate and told them everything that had happened. Not only that, he also told them what he had done in the past. In any case, he was only forced to participate. If he was sentenced to death, the other 2 would not have a good ending either. It was too cowardly to follow these 2 people. They could only get a little money every time. They had to do all the dirty work. At the critical moment, they were in a mess. If they had to die, they would die together. After listening to Shan Yuan, the guard found a scribe and asked Shan Yuan to repeat himself. There was someone there who was easier to remember. After Shan Yuan finished writing, he asked Shan Yuan to put his fingerprint on the scribe and threw him into the prison cell to accompany Zhang Damatzi. That way he would have company. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was different from Shan Yuan. When the guard asked him to speak, he just kept his mouth shut and didn't say a word. He was like a dead pig that was not afraid of boiling water. The guard waited for a while. Seeing that he didn't say anything, he didn't make things difficult for him. He also threw him into the cell. When they entered the cell, Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was locked up opposite Shan Yuan. They could still see each other and talk. However, Shan Yuan didn't have any intention to talk to Deputy County Magistrate Xiao. He just stood there motionless, facing the wall and smelling the unpleasant smell of the cell that hadn't been cleaned for many years. Shen Yuan? What did you say to them? Hurry up and tell me. Otherwise, your life will be in danger. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was full of anger. He asked Shen Yuan loudly. In fact, he wanted to use this voice to suppress the fear in his heart. Shen Yuan was still the same. He was not moved at all. Shen Yuan, tell me. I still have a way to get us out. Registrar Zhan is still outside. Tell me quickly. I will give you a large sum of money, 500 strings of coins. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao did not give up. He lowered his voice and persuaded him again. Shut up, Xiao Qi, you bastard. I am working for you. Now that I am in, you don't want to save me. Now you are in, right? Haha, I have a companion. Come on, Xiao Qi, tell me, what wicked things have you done these years? Pockmarked Zhang's voice came from the cell next to him. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao turned his head and found that Pockmarked Zhang was in the next cell. He was reaching out his hand to him. It seemed that he wanted to touch him. Moving to the side, Deputy County Magistrate Xiao stayed away from Pockmarked Zhang. Then he said, Pockmarked Zhang, I helped you to suppress the crimes you committed in the past. Otherwise, you will not be able to get out of here. T. I only needed to be locked up for a few months for those crimes. It is you who are cruel. As long as I don't give you money, you won't let me out. I gave you 2 strings of coins. If I had known, I would have been in here that year. Now all the others are out. You even give me 3 strings of coins a day. Now that I have so much money, I will have a few strings of coins. None of you are good. Son of a bitch. You deserve this. Come here, son of a bitch. Let me have a good look at you. Have you made any progress these days? Pockmarked Zhang stared at Deputy County Magistrate Xiao. He even dug out the things that happened in the past. Deputy County Magistrate Xiao was originally afraid. When he heard Pockmarked Zhang's words, he turned around and said, Bah! Let me tell you, I will be able to get out in a while. I will find someone to deal with you. At this moment, the door opened with a crash. A Yamen runner came in and shouted, Pockmarked Zhang, the Lord said that you can't occupy a cell by yourself. 2 more people came in. Who do you want to be with? Chapter 338. Half a day later, Zhang Motzi walked out of the cell happily. He had become an honorable bailiff in Huayuan County. Deputy Xiao also walked out. He looked up at the night sky after the rain stopped and said to a bailiff beside him, I want to ask Zhang Zhong, which one is the fake one? The bailiff didn't know either. He turned around and looked at the guard. The guard had already gotten the document he wanted. He smiled at Xiao Qi and said, What is the real one? Which one is the fake one? And Shen Yuan, didn't you ask why the official didn't give the seal to others? You are wrong. Look, this is mine. As the guard spoke, he took out a seal from his bosom and flipped it over for the 2 of them to see. On the seal was the seal of the Huayuan County Magistrate. Let's go. Don't be silly. You cheated me of 2 strings of money. I will go to your house. Zhang Motzi pushed Deputy Xiao hard when he was about to figure it out. Humph, I let you be a bailiff. Zhang Zhong will be in trouble. Xiao Qi sneered and said. Zhang Motzi pushed him again. Pockmarked Zhang pushed him again and said, T. I did do bad things in the past, but only a few people. You can be the deputy county magistrate, so why can't I be the Yamen runner? Don't die. I'll do my job properly in the future, and I'll visit you when the time comes. That night, countless bailiffs surrounded the house of Xiao. There was still a lot of money in the house. They couldn't let others take it away. The county magistrate didn't have the right to confiscate the house of the deputy county magistrate. They could only report it and let the higher-ups decide. Zhang Zhong finally put down all his worries today. He only waited for the money to come. He started to do civil works in Huayuan County. He started to build roads and some houses in the county. In this way, he could help the people get some money. With the food bought by Jean Wendy, the people could wait until the autumn harvest. The people who had no labor at home could send food directly. It was a benefit of Huayuan County. He couldn't let them starve to death. As for the business matters, except for the shop at the foot of the mountain, he didn't care about the other places. He just waited for the foreign businessmen to invest. Feeling the coolness after the rain, Zhang Zhong was prepared to return to Jinlai restaurant to have a meal with his son and daughter-in-law before heading to the other side of the mountain to take a look. As soon as he arrived outside Zhang Xiaobao's courtyard, a fragrant wind blew in through the open door. Zhang Zhong took a deep breath and walked directly to the kitchen. At the entrance, he saw his son and daughter-in-law sitting there. Between them was a basin filled with stuffing. Each of them held a small piece of bamboo in one hand and a piece of dough in the other hand. They used the small piece of bamboo to scoop up the filling and smeared it on the dough. With a move of Wei Wei's hand, a wonton was ready. There was soup boiling in the pot, waiting to be used to cook wontons. Beside it were coriander, sesame oil, chopped green onions, pickled mustard, seaweed, and shrimps. It seemed that they were all prepared to eat wontons. "Father, you're back? How much did you cheat? Oh, how much did you earn?" This time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan heard Zhang Zhong's footsteps. Zhang Xiaobao turned his head and asked, 80,000 strings of coins. How is it?" Zhang Zhong was happy. He pointed at the various things and asked, "Are these all for wontons?" "It's a little too much. It's better to ask for less. Now they will feel bad." "Father, take out a few thousand strings of coins and build some buildings around the shops or warehouses that can serve as a foil to them. When they are done, we will cooperate with them. We have to let the other businessmen know that Huayuan County values them the most." Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that the other businessmen who wanted to come to Huayuan County would not dare to come after knowing the situation. After wrapping another wonton, Zhang Xiaobao pointed at the things and said, "Father, the preparation was too rushed. Originally, there should be some other things. The wontons that I made are different from others. This wonton does not have salt. I only put pickled mustard at the bottom of the bowl. This wonton is filled with pork and shrimps. It must be fresh, so I used dried scallops, fish, and lamb bones to boil the soup. Later, I will mix it with chicken mince. We still have to wait for an hour. When the time comes, I will put seaweed, shrimps, and other things on top. Today, I made it in a hurry. There is still some pickled mustard, vinegar, and soy sauce. You can put whatever you want. Father, next time, I will prepare more things and make more dishes for you." When Zhang Zhong heard what his son said, he sighed in his heart. After so much preparation, he still said that it was not enough. If it was prepared, how much would a wonton cost? A big bowl of wonton that cost 2 copper coins outside was directly boiled in boiling water. Who would boil soup for you? After it was boiled, you still had to mix the soup. Zhang family's restaurants did not have this kind of method. It seemed that his son and daughter-in-law had left the good things for themselves to enjoy. "Well, when those businessmen finish building the place, you tell me what to do." Zhang Zhong agreed. He sniffed twice, swallowed his saliva, turned around, and went to the dining hall to wait. Half an hour later, 1 big bowl and 2 small bowls of wonton were carried by Zhang Xiaobao. The soup that was about to overflow the bowl did not spill a single drop. Zhang Xiaobao walked quickly. Zhang Zhong dipped one in vinegar and ate one in soy sauce. When he looked up, he saw that his son and daughter-in-law did not touch anything. They directly scooped up a wonton with a spoon and ate it with the soup. He also ate one. It was indeed different. It was fresh without touching anything. These 2 little guys, why didn't they say so earlier? They brought him vinegar and soy sauce, but they did not eat it. The 3 of them ate dinner happily. When Zhang Zhong was about to go to the other side of the mountain, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan each carried a bag and followed him. "What are you 2 doing?" When Zhang Zhong walked to the gate of the courtyard, he found that his son and daughter-in-law were following him. The 2 of them did not make any sound when they walked. It felt like they suddenly floated over. "Father, since I ate the ginseng, I am not in a coma anymore. It's a good opportunity to walk around." Zhang Xiaobao stood up straight and walked 2 steps before he heard the sound of footsteps. If other children said so, their parents would definitely not agree. Zhang Zhong was an exception. He nodded and said, "Be careful when you go there. There is digging and padding there. Don't fall into the pit." When the 3 of them walked out of the courtyard, the guards also came. When they saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, they led an extra horse. They knew that these 2 little guys could ride horses and their riding skills were not bad. They also stared at them, wanting to see the 2 of them fly on the horse one after another. But Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not intend to do that at all. They opened their arms and let Zhang Zhong carry them one by one. Under the guard's disappointment, Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao, "This time I am in front, and I am not running fast." The speed at which the group moved was indeed not very fast. It was much slower than the speed at which Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had sprinted back to the manor. After 2 hours, the group arrived at the foot of the mountain. Just as Zhang Zhong had expected, the people were still working. Even some of the slightly older children were working together under the light of the torches. They were dragging baskets filled with mud to other places. The younger children were holding small torches in their hands to light up the adults. There were many similar torches on the side, and they would change the torches after a while. The old people who could not do physical work gathered together and chatted while weaving baskets with vines and other things cut from the mountain to hold the soil. In the pot, there was still food stewing. The cook kneaded the brown rice, noodles, and wild vegetables together and sent them into the pot to be steamed. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan grabbed the reins and slipped out of the horse. Holding hands, they strolled around the cooking area. Looking at the vegetable dumplings, Zhang Xiaobao frowned. He then went to the pot and smelled the stewing food. He said to Wang Wan, "The stewing food is not bad, but there is meat in it. The rice is a bit wrong. Of course it can't compare to the wontons we make ourselves, but for others, this is already not bad. To make food that normal people can fill their stomachs, this is a skill." Wang Wan looked at the children who helped and felt uncomfortable in her heart. In Zhang Xiaobao and Zhuangzi, it was impossible for such a thing to happen. But looking at the smiles on those people's faces, she felt that this was already very good. Those expressions were not fake. Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan and walked around again. He found that there was no other dish, only a stew dish. Zhang Xiaobao thought that there were a lot of wild vegetables in it, but he felt that something was wrong. Suddenly, Zhang Xiaobao stopped and said to Wang Wan, "I understand. Look at the children. Don't you feel that something is missing? What is it? Look at the children's necks. They seem to be a little thicker than normal. They lack iodine, so we have to think of a way quickly. Otherwise, it will affect their intelligence. There is still some dried kelp at home. Ask someone to go back and get it quickly. This thing seems to be missing. Do you have a way to make iodized salt?" Wang Wan also found it. It was dark, and there were only torches. It was not obvious when she looked at it just now, but now that she looked carefully, it was different. There were a few children in their teens, and their necks were obviously thicker than other children of the same age. If I can make iodized salt, then I can make a lot of things. The fish by the sea is not valuable, and so is the kelp. In the future, I have to send people to the sea to buy it. There is no need to wait for a sea boat. A bigger boat will do. It will be close to the sea. Find some local fishermen as guides, bypass the reefs, and dry the sea goods. The size of the sea goods can be reduced a lot. Zhang Xiaobao began to think about how to make the people in the north like to eat fish, especially things in the sea. The disease of iodine deficiency was really disgusting. Everything else was fine, but it affected people's intelligence, which was unbearable. Wang Wan also agreed with Zhang Xiaobao's plan. It was not that he had seen it, and there was obviously a way. He could not pretend that he did not see it. Chapter 339. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went over and told Zhang Zhong about the matter. Zhang Zhong thought about it and said, "Actually, there have been books about this, but the people here basically don't like to eat other fish except for shark's fin and abalone. They are okay with shrimp and crab, but they are even more unwilling to eat fish from the sea. When Zhang Xiaobao heard his father's words, he began to worry about this matter. Wang Wan also lowered her head and tried to think of a solution. Xiaobao, I can't think of anything. Besides letting Li Sun help promote the fish, can we let him do this kind of thing again? Even if he does, others may not be able to adapt to the taste of seafood. Xiaobao, I believe you can do it. Show us what you can do. Wang Wan couldn't think of anything, so she had to let Zhang Xiaobao come up with a good idea. Zhang Xiaobao couldn't think of a solution at the moment. The main thing was that when he thought of a solution, he never thought of a single existence. He had to consider the follow-up together. He was already used to this way of thinking. The two of them held hands and could only continue to stroll, thinking as they walked. As they walked, they came to the side of a pot that was stewing vegetables. The wooden lid of the pot wasn't tightly closed, revealing a gap about 2 inches wide. A child of about 10 years old, taking advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention, led a child of 5 or 6 years old into the pot. In his hand was a peeled branch with a few mushrooms strung on it. He carefully put the branch into the pot and said to the child next to him, "Little sister, these mushrooms are ready to eat in a while. There is still the taste of meat in them. Wait a little longer and I will let you eat it." Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao watched and listened. Wang Wan suddenly had a warm feeling. A big brother was cooking for his little sister, and he had to do it secretly. How could he not know that when the two of them came over, the old man and old lady sitting there had already seen what they were holding in their hands? If the mushrooms were poisonous, they would definitely be stopped. They wouldn't lose anything by boiling the mushrooms with the soup in the pot, so no one cared. But when Zhang Xiaobao saw this scene, he thought differently. He held Wang Wan's hand tightly and said to Wang Wan, "I have a way to make them eat seafood." "What is it?" Wang Wan didn't expect Zhang Xiaobao to have an idea in such a short time. "It's simple. They don't like to eat fish. Let's make the fish into fish balls, shrimps, and so on. We can also make shrimp balls and crab balls from crab shells. Let's just buckle the kelp and string it up with a small stick. We can buy spicy skewers. It's not easy to make spicy. We can ask people to make the sauce lighter. The main thing is the spiciness. The numbness is simple. It's just pepper. If we fry it, it will be pepper oil. It's also called sesame oil, not sesame oil. Our side is good. Shaanxi. Do you know where Shaanxi's pepper is good? Hanqing. It's about 3 hours to the east from here to Beijing. If you head slightly north, the Sichuan peppercorns there are the best. But I still decided to use our local peppercorns first. I don't care if it's good. I don't have any obligation to improve their production and marketing of Sichuan peppercorns. The people here don't like to eat seafood and fish because they treat those things as main dishes. Let's change our way of thinking and treat those things as snacks and dishes with wine. We can do big food stalls. It can solve some of the people's work, make money, and let more people like those things. When Zhang Xiaobao saw 2 children eating mushrooms, he thought of this. Many people usually don't eat kelp, but it's different when it's in Malatang. There will always be people who will choose 2 skewers and various kinds of balls. Wang Wan blinked her big eyes. She also felt that this method was good. She usually doesn't eat fish balls, but she will eat some when it's in Malatang. In this way, it can solve some of the people's work and let the people here replenish their iodine. And then, Wang Wan suddenly asked Zhang Xiaobao. "And then what?" Zhang Xiaobao was puzzled. "How many times have I told you? Don't play dumb with me. You know what I'm asking. What kind of benefits can it bring to us in the future?" Wang Wan now likes to interrogate Zhang Xiaobao. Every time Zhang Xiaobao comes up with an idea, he has a backup plan. She thinks this is very interesting. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly understood. "Oh, you are talking about this. Then the people here can sell it. Our ships can transport it first and make a lot of money. The kelp is used to feed the ducks at the seaside. In our restaurant, we can also make a better Malatang and widen the gap with the ordinary Malatang. No, 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 Comrade Zhang Xiaobao, you have to know that I can also think of this kind of thing. It's definitely not the last resort. Go on. Wang Wan was not swayed. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head helplessly. I can't live with you. You always doubt my words. We have to trust each other, you know? Well then, when more people like to eat, they will go there to buy seafood. Rich businessmen can use big ships. How much do you think a ship can carry? They can't afford to wait, so what should we do? Let's use small boats. From the Yellow River to here, there is only one way for small boats to go. The fastest, most convenient, and the safest way is. That is the river that connects here. The more people use it, the more money the government office earns, and the more money we earn. Not bad, Zhang Xiaobao, good plan. Then what? Wang Wan felt that she hadn't gotten everything out of him yet, so she helped him finish the rest of the story and asked another question. Zhang Xiaobao was depressed. He patted his forehead with his small hand and waited for Wang Wan to reach out and help him. Finally he said, there are also tubo and tujue. Don't they lack iodine? Don't they want to eat malatang? Especially the tujue. The weather on the grassland changes quickly. When it's cold, they can eat malatang and drink our wine. Isn't it good? But they don't have seafood. Let's tell them the method, sell them the chili sauce, and let them buy seafood in exchange for their cows and sheep. It's good for our farming here, and we can also have more milk for the children to drink. You know, I have a special feeling for children. Well, that's pretty good. The two children scalded a bunch of mushrooms, and you connected all these things. You can promote the development of several industries and also improve the livelihood of the people. Then what? Wang Wan did not give up. She continued to pat Zhang Xiaobao's forehead. Okay, I'll say one more thing. There's really nothing else. You have to believe me. When there's rapid exchange of business and goods, whether it's intentional or not, we can always exchange information with other places. Many times, the victory of a war is related to logistics and information. We can obtain more information. Don't ask me any more. I won't say anything even if you ask me again. It's against the harmony of the heavens. It's crueler than Zhuge Liang burning the Rotan armor soldiers. If I really do it one day, I will use oil to light up the 7-star lantern. Zhang Xiaobao said another beneficial thing and refused to say anything else. Wang Wan understood that Zhang Xiaobao still had a killer move on this matter. It was the kind that was very lethal. If it was someone else, she might not believe it, but Zhang Xiaobao was always an exception. Okay, I won't ask anymore. If there's really a need to do that one day, bring me along. Now we have to send a message to Li Sun. It's most convenient for him to do this. He's really a good kid. Sometimes he's childish, sometimes he's mature. Later on, he's always been sincere to us. It doesn't matter whether he's using us or not. We're also using him. As long as we don't have too big of a conflict of interest with him, he will help us. He's better than some of the princes now. If we really cooperate with those who have a chance to fight for the position, we have to worry about being stabbed in the back. Wang Wan was already very satisfied. She did not want to continue asking. She was not satisfied with forcing Zhang Xiaobao to say one backup plan after another. She was satisfied with Zhang Xiaobao as a person. He was really different from normal people. It was fine when he was not moving, but when he moved, everything was linked. It was just a simple malatang, but he could think of so many things. It was hard to believe. But who would have thought that Coca-Cola could occupy such a big market? Who would have thought that KFC could make so much money for so many years? The things they sold were still calculated according to the international price, but the price they bought was the local price. She believed that with Zhang Xiaobao's operation, the malatang would become popular. As long as there was no real chili, then no one would refuse the sauce made with mountain chili seedlings. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were here because they saw the two children eating the hot mushrooms. After a while, the mushrooms were finally cooked. The older brother swallowed his saliva, smelled it, smiled and handed it to his sister's mouth. He said, "Little sister, you can eat now." See if it's delicious. Brother will find more for you tomorrow. It's too late today. Brother, you eat one first. The little girl stared at the string of mushrooms without blinking and said a very normal sentence that made people feel emotional. Don't eat first. Wait a minute. Wang Wan shouted, pulled Zhang Xiaobao and ran over. She opened the package Zhang Xiaobao was carrying and took out a small bamboo tube. Under the watchful eyes of the two children and the others, he unscrewed the lid of the bamboo tube and took out a small brush. There was still something stuck on the brush. He gently brushed the string of mushrooms twice, put it away, and took out another bamboo tube. He pinched some salt and pepper inside and sprinkled a small amount on the mushrooms. Then she said to the two children, well, eat it. How about you taste it? The two children didn't know the two children who were younger than them. They were just stunned and didn't think to hide. Seeing the little girl put so many things on the mushrooms, they hesitated and didn't know whether to eat it or not. There was a steward next to them who knew Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Seeing that the two children didn't eat, he quickly came over and said, this is the young master of the county magistrate's family, and this is the young master's. They are together. Eat it. Chapter 340. When the older brother took a bite and said that it was delicious, Wang Wan was relieved. It seemed that this malatang was still edible. At this time, the people who were working also stopped. They casually washed their hands in the basin and wiped their hands on their clothes. They were considered to be hygienic. One by one, they lined up and went to the various cooking places to get food. There weren't so many metal utensils, so they used wooden bowls. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already eaten, but children digested quickly. At this time, they felt that they could still eat. The two of them didn't eat and directly asked someone to serve them a bowl of stew. The person who served the stew washed the bowls again and again before serving them a bowl. It was the same as what Zhang Zhong had eaten before. There were many pieces of fatty meat inside. Fortunately, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were more tenacious. The stew was also stewed for a long time, so it wasn't greasy. They picked up a piece, dipped it in the garlic sauce, and stuffed it into their mouths. It was quite fragrant. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ate a few pieces and began to observe the others. Those people were eating more happily, but they were not willing to eat the food. After eating a mouthful of food, they would bite a few mouthfuls of rice. Xiaobao, it seems that we still don't have enough food. Tomorrow, ask the family to bring some radish strips and pickled vegetables. Those things go well with the rice and are not expensive. Also, prepare some salted eggs for the children. Wang Wan discovered the problem and immediately wanted to solve it. The food and drinks here were paid for by the yamen. Why didn't they use that money? Bring some tomorrow. I have a small jar of stinky tofu in my backpack now. Take it out for them to eat. Ask the people nearby to give it to them. Later on, get people to make more fermented bean curd. Make some improvements and grind it a few more times. 1 jin of beans can make 4 jin of tofu. At that time, only bean cakes could make 5 jin of tofu. Then, directly make fermented bean curd. There are a few salt pans here. Salt is not that expensive. According to the way they eat, they can eat well with 2 more pieces of fermented bean curd. It's better than eating salted beans and sorghum rice directly. Zhang Xiaobao thought of the most common things. If possible, it could be made into salted tofu. That would be good with wine, not to mention eating. Wang Wan didn't hesitate. She opened Zhang Xiaobao's backpack and found the jar containing the stinky tofu. The two of them had prepared a lot of things in their backpack before coming here. He had come here to see who was suitable to give it to and help Zhang Xiaobao's father get closer to him. In addition to these things, there were also candies. He would give them to him tomorrow morning. The stinky tofu was not expensive, but these people could not buy it with their own money. If they were really rich, who would eat wild vegetables? When the stinky tofu was taken out, the people who were further away did not know, but when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were submerged in the stench, they knew. One by one, they looked over. Those who got the stinky tofu were too embarrassed to eat it all by themselves. They divided the 1-inch wide piece of stinky tofu into 4 pieces and gave it to others. They used their chopsticks to poke a little bit on it and put it into their mouth. It was a kind of enjoyment. Zhang Xiaobao also had a piece of stinky tofu in front of him. He also used his chopsticks to poke a little bit and put it into his mouth. Xiaobao, can you be more serious? Why are you learning from others? Wang Wan said helplessly. Learning from others? I didn't learn from others. Zhang Xiaobao looked up and understood. I really didn't learn from others. If you give me a piece of stinky tofu or fermented bean curd, I can eat it for 3 days. If you give me a salted egg, I can eat it for a week. These 2 things have become a habit for me. At that time I was rich. I asked someone to make salted goose eggs with salt water. I ate them for half a month and still had some left. I didn't have time to eat those, so I accompanied you here. What if it's an ostrich egg? Wang Wan asked. Then you have to use more salt water. Otherwise, it will go bad in the end. Actually, it doesn't matter if it goes bad, as long as it doesn't grow hair. I like to eat stinky eggs. It's better than stinky tofu. You should eat some too. Otherwise, you will feel uncomfortable when you smell it. Zhang Xiaobao seriously explained to Wang Wan. He even pushed the stinky tofu in front of Wang Wan. Wang Wan used her chopsticks and picked up 1/10 of the stinky tofu. Seeing this, Zhang Xiaobao felt a little heartache. She ate too much in one bite. What's wrong? Are you feeling heartache? Xiaobao, I really don't know what to say to you. You are usually so generous, but when it comes to food, you become so harsh, especially to yourself. Do you really have to be like this? Don't you know that this is also a flaw? It's easy to be used by others. Wang Wan swallowed the stinky tofu and said to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the remaining stinky tofu and used his chopsticks to touch it. He put it into his mouth and said, No one has ever used this flaw of mine. In fact, I have always been waiting for them to use it, but who dares to? Are you doing this on purpose? Wang Wan felt that this was a weakness that Zhang Xiaobao left for others to use. No, but it's not good for people to use this to attack me. I am a kind of nostalgia. You also know how I lived when I was young. I am very devout about eating things. It has nothing to do with how much money I have. I like to eat the bones of fish in tomato sauce. When I was 9 years old, I entered a movie theater for free. I saw a war movie that was filmed more than 100 years ago. They fought and fought until there was nothing to eat. On the battlefield, there were only 3 people left. They found an enemy tank. There was a salted cucumber and 2 fish bones inside. When they were eating, they said that they had never eaten such a fragrant fish bone before. At that time, I already thought that it was delicious. Other fish bones were not easy to bite, but I found that the fish bones of the fish in tomato sauce were edible. I stole some money and sold some canned food. After 5 meals, there was still a lot of soup left. Do you know what I am trying to say by saying so much? Zhang Xiaobao suddenly asked Wang Wan. Wang Wan thought for a moment and nodded. You're saying that when a person likes to eat something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's that delicious. Instead, it's because under certain circumstances, the person is left with a psychological cue. It's similar to self-hypnosis. You're thinking, I want to use this point to promote our Malatang. Li Longji created a drama, so why can't we create a drama? If we want to use a drama to promote our food, we will need to promote our Malatang first. We need to find a representative. Otherwise, Li Longji will ask about this and that when he has nothing better to do. If we ask about this, he will be targeted. Also, we can develop our crosstalk, skit, and even storytelling. What do you remember so far? When do I have the time to listen to storytelling? Do you remember? Wang Wan felt that this idea was good, but she only cared about learning things in the past. Yes. I have heard of 2. One is the 7 Heroes and 5 Righteous Men, and the other is Bao Gongzhuan. Do you think it will work? Zhang Xiaobao said helplessly. Wang Wan also felt depressed. It is the Kaiyuan era now. If they really create Bao He Zi, how many plots will they need to change?
If they have the time, they can also think of one.
Xiao Bao, why don't we change Journey to the West?
Or Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Water Margin, and Dream of the Red Chamber.
I have read these 4 books a few times.
Wang Wan thought of these 4 books.
Zhang Xiaobao shook his head.
Let's talk about Journey to the West first.
What is he promoting?
Tang.
Oh, it's Chen. What does he do? Monk, it's fine in the past.
But in the current era, do you dare to mention Journey to the West? Also, the Three Kingdoms.
In the early stages, Zhuge Liang was portrayed so well. But later on, it's over.
The orthodoxy is gone.
Will Li Longji admit that he is not orthodox?
You don't want to mention Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
That's fine. But can't he read the books himself?
Also, Water Margin is a story from the Song Dynasty. You can change it to suit the Tang Dynasty environment, but can you change the thinking of Water Margin? As for Dream of the Red Chamber, it will be difficult to change it. The main problem is the language. The Beijing accent is not Mandarin, nor is it similar to Cantonese and Hakka. The reason why we can understand it is because I have been to many places.
You might have specially learned it.
That Beijing accent is also called Suzhou accent, which means Beijing Suzhou City.
The Beijing accent of Dream of the Red Chamber is different from ours. It should be called Qing Beijing accent. Why don't you ask if you have eaten? How should you answer? Have you eaten?
There's food could also be considered a Beijing accent, but that was not the case for the Red Chamber. The most common saying in the Red Chamber was I've eaten Momo, or I've eaten Momo. When you answered, you could not say there's food, or I've eaten Momo. That was not the Red Chamber's style. You had to say, I've invited, or I've ordered. That was the Red Chamber's style.
How do you arrange it? How do you match the plot?
Wang Wan was dumbfounded, especially when it came to Dream of the Red Chamber. Hearing Zhang Xiaobao speak so clearly, it was really difficult to distinguish.
Xiaobao, do you think the style of Dream of the Red Chamber is real or fake? What is fake is real, and what is real is fake. Who knows if it is real or fake?
Understanding the affairs of the world is knowledge, and experience in human relationships is literature.
Don't you think so?
Zhang Xiaobao gave a specious answer.
Wang Wan did not care about whether it was real or fake. She stared at Zhang Xiaobao and said, Zhang Xiaobao, I couldn't tell.
You are opening and closing your mouth.
You are using the words of Dream of the Red Chamber. Does that mean you have some research on Dream of the Red Chamber?
What research?
I'm annoyed.
It's like today you love me, tomorrow I love her, later she dies, later I become a monk.
Come, go, leave, stay. It's always the same feeling.
There's also one time I said, disgusting.
Hurry up and eat.
Those 2 pieces of fat, one for each of us.
I'll eat the big one, you can eat the small one.
Zhang Xiaobao's mind was not on this at all.
He gave a perfunctory reply and started eating again.
Wang Wan blankly picked up the small piece of fat and pressed it hard on the plate of garlic sauce. When a lot of garlic stuck to the fat, she opened her mouth and stuffed it in. Xiaobao, on the other hand, was much smarter. He crushed the fatty meat on the plate and poured some soup onto the plate. He raised his head and drank it in one gulp.
He grabbed a piece of ginger and threw it into his mouth. After chewing for a while, he finally felt much better. The commoners didn't know that what the 2 children were talking about could become a reality. They only knew that the county magistrate had driven his guards to the side to eat and even brought the children along. It seemed that he had never treated himself as an outsider and brought his family and the commoners together. Was there a better county magistrate than him? The commoners ate happily. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also ate a lot.
Zhang Zhong was willing to see this kind of thing. Just as he was about to say something, 2 fast horses came from the direction of the county.
Reporting.
20 li downstream of the pier, a merchant fleet was intercepted. 20 ships of goods. Don't rob them.
The person who came did not even get off the horse and shouted loudly. Zhang Zhong was shocked. He turned his head to look at his son and daughter-in-law. Zhang Xiaobao put down his chopsticks and said, "I gave you face, but you don't want face. Tomorrow, let's go and see who is so bold. It shouldn't be someone from Hua Yuan County." Chapter 341. Catkins flying, people on the water surface. Flying in the sky, fishing for fish and prawns. Branches swaying in the wind, geese and ducks are free. Dad, Dad, come and see, a basket of prawns. Last night, brother fished all night and we got a basket of prawns. Dad, look. Not far from the pier, in a family that treated boats as their home, a 5-year-old girl with 2 horns on her head jumped into the cabin from outside. She pulled a middle-aged man whose exact age could not be determined from his face and walked inside. "Be careful, don't fall and climb back up wet. Go, a basket of prawns can be exchanged for 2 buckets of rice. It can also be used to make clothes for Weiwei." The middle-aged man touched the little girl's head lovingly and said as he walked. He was pulled by the little girl to the deck of the boat outside. At this time, there was a 15-year-old boy at the bow of the boat. He had already put away the line to catch prawns and was guarding beside a basket of prawns, grinning. "Feng, did you catch a lot yesterday?" The middle-aged man looked at his son and asked. "Dad, look, we chose a good place last night. We can catch one in a while and fill a basket." The boy called Feng, happily pointed at the basket of prawns. The middle-aged man walked closer and looked at the prawns jumping in the basket. He quickly took a large wooden basin, filled it with water, and poured the prawns in it. "Dad, I just poured the prawns from the net into the basket. Why did you pour them out again? Aren't you going to sell them at the dock?" Feng was a little distressed about the fruits of his labor just now. The middle-aged man saw that only 2 prawns were dead and breathed a sigh of relief. "We are selling them, but not to the dock here. If we sell them here, we can only exchange for 1 bucket of rice. If we sell them at between the clouds and the water, we will sell them at a high price. Feng, go rest first. Dad and your mom will support us. We will reach there in half a day. Brother, go to sleep. Dad said that he will make clothes for me. He won't buy them here." The little girl also tried to persuade her brother. She ran in front of her brother, pulled his big hand, and dragged him into the cabin with all her strength. With the combined efforts of the parents, the boat that was their home sailed upstream. They would wait until between the clouds and the water to sell it for a higher price. The people at the docks didn't stop them. The price they charged was indeed low. The restaurant wasn't finished yet, and they only had a simple house to cook for the people passing by. The food couldn't be sold at a high price. They could only learn from between the clouds and the water in the future and buy some special seasonings from the Zhang family. The pier on this side was indeed not far from between the clouds and the water. If one were to row a boat from upstream, it would take less than 4 hours to get there. Sailing against the current would only take a little longer. The husband and wife had a tacit understanding of each other as they rowed the boat forward. The speed of the boat was not considered slow as it faced the water. After sailing for nearly 4 hours, when they were about to reach their destination, the 2 of them began to rest while the other rowed. They would switch later. At this moment, 20 people suddenly appeared on both sides of the river. Just like that day, a rope was thrown to the opposite side, blocking the boat. A person on the right bank shouted, "People on the boat, throw 20 live fish over here. If you don't have any live fish, give us money. If you want to go over, give us 10 coins." The man who rowed the boat was stunned. He didn't expect these people to be so bold. Their family didn't go down because it wasn't safe. It was only a section of the road between the pier and between the clouds and the water. Today, there were people who dared to block the boat at this place. "I asked you to take the money. Why are you in a daze? If you don't take it, don't blame the stones in our hands for not having eyes." A person on the left bank threw a stone up and down and shouted at the middle-aged man who rowed the boat. The middle-aged man looked at the wooden basin on the boat and sighed. "Everyone, do I have spare money?" There is still a basin of prawns here. Why don't we take half of it and sell it? It won't be more than 10 coins.
Move the boat over here, let me see. The person on the right bank heard that there were prawns and waved his hand. He had already made up his mind to take all of it. Next to him, a person holding a stone started to flatter, "Boss is really amazing. These days, you found more than 200 people. The night before yesterday, you also intercepted more than 20 boats. The goods on those boats were worth 300 coins. The river that the boss chose is really profitable." Since someone said it first, others followed suit. Flattering voices rang out from the shore on the right. The middle-aged man rowed the boat slowly to the shore. Immediately, someone jumped onto the boat and looked down at the prawns in the basin. He shouted to the people below, "Another person, the prawns are good. Later, sell them to others and take away the basin."
"This little brother, you can't do it.
Just now, you said that you would take half.
Leave some for my family. You can't take away the basin."
The middle-aged man didn't expect that they were going to take away the prawns along with the basin.
He anxiously said, "Do you want to die or live? If you want to live, don't move."
This person didn't care at all and shouted at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was so scared that he took 2 steps back. His eyes were full of helplessness and fear.
"Do you want to die or live? If you want to live, don't move." Another voice sounded, the same as the person on the boat.
The people on both banks looked in the direction of the voice and saw that there were nearly 100 horses on both sides of the river between the clouds and the water. The bailiffs of Sanshue County were sitting on the horses. In the distance, they could vaguely see a few boats sailing down the river. The bailiffs of Sanshue County pulled their bows and pointed the cold arrows at the robbers on both sides of the river. The robbers really didn't dare to move. Some people wanted to jump into the river to escape, but when they saw the boats getting closer and closer, they gave up the idea.
"You have guts.
A few days ago, you just stopped the boats and asked for less money.
I thought you couldn't find a way to live, so I didn't have time to deal with you.
I didn't expect that when there are more people, you dare to rob and come here.
You've grown up."
A bailiff rushed out and sneered at the people on both sides of the river. They received the news the night before yesterday. Yesterday, they came to between the clouds and the water from the yamen. Today, they wanted to patrol here, but they met the robbers as soon as they arrived. Being pointed at by the bows and arrows, the robbers didn't dare to move. The leader's expression changed. He was unwilling to be caught, so he said, "You are bailiffs of Sanshue County.
You have guts to do things in Huayuan County. Did you forget what happened to the bailiffs of Huayuan County who went to Sanshue County?"
Ha 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 ha.
All the bailiffs laughed at the same time.
The bailiff who shouted before said to the leader of the robbers, "You know a lot. You still remember what happened in the past. Then why don't you know who the county magistrate of Huayuan County is?
Are you pretending to be confused with us? Tie them up.
If anyone dares to resist, kill them."
"Yes." All the bailiffs put down their bows and took out their knives.
They rushed forward and beat those who still dared to stand on the ground with the backs of their knives. The robbers didn't dare to resist, but it seemed that they were not too scared.
They were tied together with ropes.
They stood there and looked up at the bailiffs who got on their horses again.
"Tell me, who else? Where are they?
We can solve them all at once. No one is allowed to make trouble on this river."
The leader of the bailiffs put his knife on the head of the robbers and asked, "If you want to catch them, come with me.
Let me tell you, it won't do you any good to catch us. It will bring you trouble," the robbers' leader said with a gloomy face.
He led the way and walked downstream.
For the convenience of guarding, the bailiffs' patrol boats came and sent the robbers from the left bank to the right bank. They guarded the robbers from the left bank together.
"Brother, please go ahead.
We won't stay with you,"
the last bailiff said to the middle-aged man on the boat and rowed away. The middle-aged man breathed a sigh of relief.
Looking at the departing figures, he shouted to the cabin, "It's okay. The bailiffs of Sanshue County are really powerful. They look mighty. In the future,
we won't go anywhere else. With their protection, we won't be afraid." A small head with 2 horns on its head popped out of the cabin. It looked around and then jumped out. It patted its chest with its small hands and said to the middle-aged man, "Dad, it was so scary just now. I thought my prawns would be snatched away." "Don't be afraid. The bailiffs are coming. When we get to between the clouds and the water, it will be safer. I want to send you to the school in Zhongjia Zhuangzi. You can learn something in the future. You can be better than others. I will go there every day when I sell things and give them some money. You can eat and live there." The middle-aged man thought of the bailiffs of Sanshui County and thought of Zhongjia Zhuangzi. He felt that his daughter should also go there to learn so that she could marry into a good family in the future. The little girl blinked her big eyes and nodded. She didn't know about the future. She only thought that there would be many children playing together. When she learned something, she would teach it to her brother. It was said that if she learned well there, she would be given some things that could be used in daily life. When the bailiffs escorted the gang of bandits to the dock, Zhang Zhong also came here. When he heard that a merchant ship was robbed the night before, he wanted to send people from the county to take a look. However, he was afraid that the bailiffs in the county were not well trained, so he had to send people to Sanshui County. The bailiffs there were much better than those in Huayuan County. Today, before dawn, he set off from the foot of the mountain to see for himself. Unexpectedly, when he just arrived at the dock, he saw the bailiffs of Sanshui County catch some people first. Under the protection of the guards, he walked forward and looked at them one by one. "Sir, this is their leader. It seems that he was ordered to come here by someone. When I asked him, he didn't say anything." The leader of the bailiffs was Chen Dong. When he saw Zhang Zhong coming, he respectfully went forward and pointed at the bandit leader and said. Zhang Zhong was now somewhat accustomed to his official position. Since he dealt with Xiao Qi the day before yesterday, he also became ruthless. He looked at the bandit leader and said to the guards, "You guys ask him. If he really doesn't say that he was killed, just say that he tried to assassinate an imperial court official and was killed on the spot." "Yes." The 2 guards untied the bandit leader's head. At the same time, they pulled the bandit leader's shoulder and twisted it hard. When the bandit leader screamed and the clear sound of molars breaking sounded at the same time, his arm was already broken and he was dragged to the side by the 2 guards. Chapter 342. After a quarter of an hour, 2 guards came back with the bandit leader, whose arm had been reattached. "Sir, they said that there is a trading company supporting them. They came from other places to make a living. As for which trading company it is, they don't know. That trading company will send different people to contact them. In the beginning, they were given some money so that they could eat their fill. Later on, they were told to stop people on the river. When there were more of them, they would start to rob the goods. These goods would be shipped away by boat and they would be given less money than the value of the goods. Those people said that when there are more of them in the future, they won't have to do this kind of thing anymore. They will find better jobs for them to do. They can earn at least 200 copper coins a day." The guard told Zhang Zhong what he had just interrogated. He didn't know what the guard did just now. The bandit leader's face was pale, but he didn't seem to be injured. Zhang Zhong couldn't figure out which trading company was behind this. Since they hadn't shown up yet, he would wait and solve the problem in front of him first. "Have you found out where they are staying? Go and arrest them directly. The river can't be chaotic. We still hope that there will be more merchants. These people will be detained at the dock first. When the others are arrested, they will be sent to the yamen of Huayuan County together." Zhang Zhong instructed the yamen runners of Sanshui County. To him, the yamen runners of Sanshui County were no different from the yamen runners of Huayuan County. In fact, they were even more useful. The yamen runners of Sanshui County also thought the same. They felt that they were the yamen runners of the Zhang family. Instead of being angry, they were very happy when the Zhang family asked them to do something. The yamen runners patrolling the river didn't only patrol, but also occasionally helped to transport goods. They didn't need to give the money to others. They just needed to divide it among the yamen runners.
After arranging the arrest, Zhang Zhong found the person who was waiting at the dock and had his goods stolen. The boat was fine, but the goods were stolen. This person had also teamed up with others to form two fleets. They had set off from the port and were preparing to sell their goods in the capital. After their goods were robbed, everyone discussed and ran to the docks. They told the people at the docks what had happened, and the people at the docks quickly passed the news to the county. Zhang Zhong's arrival made them feel a little flattered. They didn't expect the county magistrate to come in person. Each of them respectfully told Zhang Zhong about how they were robbed that day and how many things they lost. They didn't expect the county magistrate of Huayuan County to compensate them. They just wanted the county magistrate to catch the robbers and retrieve as many things as possible. However, Zhang Zhong knew that those things had already been transported away. If he wanted to follow this line, he wouldn't be able to find anything. Nobody knew where the ships that transported the goods had gone. Moreover, many ships looked the same. There were all kinds of goods that were transported to the capital every day. After thinking for a while, Zhang Zhong said to these merchants, "The goods are gone. The approximate price is 420 strings of coins, right? This money will be paid by the Yamen of Huayuan County. In the future, you can rest assured that if you encounter the same thing, the goods will be taken care of by Huayuan County." After all, it happened in Huayuan County. "Sir, you are really good." A merchant heard Zhang Zhong's words and knelt there and shouted, "You don't have to do this. Continue to do business in the future." Zhang Zhong had his own plans. These bandits had more than 200 people, and they could be used to work. He didn't need to give them wages. As long as they didn't starve to death, he would give them whatever they lacked. There would be enough wild vegetables. It was easy for the Yamen runners to catch the bandits who didn't have weapons. He just needed to wait at the docks. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan received a large sum of money today. It was 80,000 strings of coins. There were silver, copper coins, and some silk. They took out what belonged to them first and put the rest in the warehouse. They sent more people to look after them. They picked out the best silk and divided it according to the population of Elm Village. Regardless of the size, each person was given 10 feet of cloth to make clothes. There were 322 people, so they needed 80,500 silk bolts. 81 bolts were enough. The silk used as money was not all that accurate. Some of them were even worn out and worm-eaten. After picking and choosing again, he finally found 81 bolts of silk that were of better quality. As for the rest, he would use them when he paid the tax in Huayuan County. In order to maintain the monetary value of the silk bolts, the imperial court could let the heavily damaged silk bolts continue to have the same purchasing power, which was equivalent to 200 copper coins. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't plan to keep the silk bolts. Usually, when they bought things at home, they would use the silk bolts if they could. They were all large transactions. If they were exchanged with others, not only would they take up space in the warehouse, they would also be worried that they would rot or be eaten by insects. The two of them packed up, called their family members, and took a car to Elm Village. After half a day, the two of them arrived at the outskirts of Elm Village. As expected, there were many elm trees. Because of the rain 2 days ago, some coal had been washed away on the road. The black and yellow color mixed together, making people uncomfortable and very muddy. If there's a big fire here, will there be an explosion? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan got off the car. Looking at the mud and coal on their feet, they imagined that when the wind blew these coal bolts into the air on a hot day, there would be some sparks. With a bang, the whole village would be gone. Impossible. If there was an explosion, so many coal fields would have been blown up into the sky. We just need to walk forward and take a turn to reach the village. Wang Wan wanted to take a good look. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao and walked forward with difficulty. After turning the corner, he could see from afar that there were many people working there. There were also children running around. When he got closer, he could finally see clearly that the people of Elm Village were repairing the road there. They were pushing carts of sand and stones from who knows where in the village. When they arrived here and piled up on the road, a few people carried shovels and spread them out.
They filled the gaps with sand. Some people found stones and pebbles and repeatedly pressed them there. The children were in charge of bringing water and towels to wipe the sweat of the adults. The slightly older ones were in charge of sweeping behind with brooms tied with bamboo leaves. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's car turned the corner, the people in the village finally realized. For the past few days, there would be people driving carts to deliver meat to them every day. It was not easy to preserve meat, so they could only deliver it every day. Today's carts had not arrived yet. They thought that the carts that appeared were for meat delivery. When the old man saw the carts, he called a few young men to welcome them. When they got closer, he saw that there were actually 2 children. The people driving the carts had never seen them before, so they were puzzled. They are from the Zhang family. Look at the rice seedlings on the cart. They are similar to the ones sent by the Zhang family. It's just that there is one more and the drawing is different. A sharp-eyed person saw the rice seedlings on the cart that belonged to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and said to the people beside him. The few people were relieved. It was fine as long as they were from the Zhang family. The old man took 2 steps forward with a stick and asked, "Meat delivery?" Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not say anything, but a person beside him said to the old man, "It's not meat delivery. It's cloth this time to make clothes for the people in the village. It's time to work, so we need to make 2 sets of clothes." Work. Good, work is good. We are waiting for you to call us. We can't eat your food for free. When the old man heard that there was work to be done, he said happily. He waved to the people behind him, and those people came forward to help carry the things down. The road ahead was under construction. Many large gaps in the stones had not been filled, so the carts could not pass through. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also walked into the village hand in hand. The others helped to carry the things together. A few more villagers ran over. The old man looked at the 2 children strenuously walking on such a road and asked the person from the Zhang family who had just spoken, "Who are these 2? "This is the young master of the Zhang family, and this is the young lady of the Wang family. This time, they are here to play for a while." The person from the Zhang family introduced them to the old man. "Hey, you can't walk. Go and find some people to bring the frame that is prepared to carry the county magistrate and carry the 2 little ancestors." The old man was surprised. The 2 children who came were of such high status. How could he neglect them? He asked the people to take the things. No, we can walk by ourselves." Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand there. "That won't do. We have to carry them all the way. If they bump into something and can't explain it, the villagers will feel guilty." The old man did not give in at all. They had agreed that as long as the county magistrate came, they would carry him all the way and not let his feet touch the ground. Even the children had to do the same. The old man blocked in front. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could not play the game of eagle and chicken with the old man, so they had to stand there. After a while, 4 strong-looking young men came, including Dog Tian. The 4 of them each had a piece of wood as thick as an arm on their shoulders. 2 were in the front and 2 were behind. In the middle of the wood was a big chair with a shed. "Put it here. One of you go back and tell the cook in the village to take out the dried meat we made in the first 2 days to cook. Take out everything else that can be eaten. Kill the chicken of Big Cat's family." The old man pointed on the ground with a stick and called a person who carried a cloth to pass by. The chair was placed half a foot above the ground. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went up and sat side by side. The 4 people stood up steadily at the same time and lifted Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan up. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were pretending to be children, so they could not say too many words that adults should say. They looked around and let people carry them all the way to the village. When they reached the place where the road was being repaired, the villagers stopped what they were doing and looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan with respectful eyes. "Everyone continue to work. We will eat together at dinner time. You, come here and call a few people to wait for orders." The old man there ordered a 13 or 14-year-old child to come over and wait to serve Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Chapter 343. It's here, the old man led Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to a small hill behind the village.
There was a dark pothole here. Above it was some water mixed with coal to form a coal slurry.
Below it should be coal.
Around the pothole was a wall built by the villagers with mud and grass. It surrounded the pothole. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't understand the purpose of building a wall. This was a small open-pit mine. They could dig out coal by digging around it. The old man explained, when the coal flows into the fields, it can't produce any food. The people in our village built a wall outside to block it. But when there is a heavy rain, it can't stop it. Sometimes it overflows the wall, and sometimes it directly breaks the wall. We can only block it a little. When the old man said this, his face was full of helplessness. The four people carrying Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also looked sad. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't know how to laugh when they saw their expressions. Living a hard life in a coal mine. Well, this kind of thing was quite common. Many people didn't know that their poor hometown had something that others were jealous of. It was not suitable for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to directly discuss business with the village chief, so they signaled the person who followed them with their eyes. The person began to talk about what he had learned before coming to the village chief. Tamura Masa, it's like this. This coal, our family wants it, that. If you want it, take it. Ask the county magistrate to issue a document. This is your place. If you don't have enough people, our village will help you. Without waiting for the Zhang family to finish, the old man waved his hand and said generously. The person from the Zhang family waved his hand. Tamura Masa, we don't dare to take this place for ourselves. It's fine if it's farther away, but this place is too close to the capital. We can only mine. This place is still your elm villages. We don't have people to dig, so we'll ask your villagers to help. For every 20 dan of coal dug out, we'll give them 10 coins. Or we can give 1 coin for 2 dan of coal. For every 20 dan of coal dug out, the Zhang family will give 1 coin to Elm Village and 1 coin to the county. What do you think? The old man was stunned when he heard the amount of money. It was too much. They would give 1 coin for every 2 dan of coal dug out. If they dug out 20 dan of coal, they would give the village 1 coin. People like Guzi Tian in the village could dig out hundreds of coins a day. The old man, who thought that digging coal was too easy, shook his head vigorously. No, it's too much. We'll help you dig. You don't want the county's money? Doesn't it belong to your family? Tamura Masa, Mr. Tian, Huayuan County doesn't belong to the Zhang family. It belongs to the imperial court. The money we'll give is not much at all. We have a big use for this coal. We can make more money. If we do it well, we can make a profit with 1 dan of coal. You don't have to tell me how much money you can make. It's your Zhang family's ability to make mountains of gold and silver. It's also what your Zhang family deserves. The Zhang family is a good person, and so is the Wang family. It's settled. We'll help you dig, and you'll give us money. You didn't use it before because you haven't eaten your food. We'll pay you this amount in the future. Even if you sell the coal you just dug out, we Elm Village won't dig it ourselves. We'll dig it for you. If others come, we'll drive them away. The old man was full of heroism. He kept tapping the place where the coal was dug out with the stick. The 4 people carrying Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were also full of agreement. They combined the unyielding force of resistance with the simplicity of gratitude. Xiaobao and Wang Wan were moved as well. The old man's intentions couldn't be any clearer. You can use this coal to earn as much money as you can. We'll only recognize you as our family. With that salary, we won't dig it up and sell it ourselves. We'll keep it for you and guard it. Many people would think that they were stupid, but Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan definitely didn't think so. This was a real person. If everyone in the world could be like this, there wouldn't be so many problems. We must protect them and let them live a better life. Wang Wan's lips moved. I know. I'll think of an easy and profitable way to let them do it. They'll have to move in the future. Otherwise, they'll get sick if they breathe in too much coal ash. Later, we'll bring some cloth and make masks for them.
When Grandpa buys cotton comes out, it'll be better to make masks than other things. Zhang Xiaobao agreed. People like Elm Village would be at a disadvantage if they didn't protect them. The force of 322 people wasn't enough. When more people knew there was coal here, they would come to mine it. There was no way to stop them. They could use any means. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the person in the inner courtyard. This person understood that he had to say something. To Muramasa, there's no need to stop outsiders. If they want to come and dig, let them dig. For every stone they dig, they'll have to give the village and the county 1 copper coin. By then, this land won't be able to be farmed. You can bring the villagers to cook for them. The Zhang family will teach you how to cook and give you some ingredients. When the old man heard this, he was stunned. The first part was still acceptable. Why was it that if other people dug, they'd have to pay 1 copper coin for every stone they dug? Zhongjia Zhuangzi would pay 1 copper coin for every 20 stones dug. He could still calculate this. When he heard that they couldn't farm here in the future, he was a little sad. However, he understood that with so many people digging, there would be coal ash everywhere. It really couldn't be farmed. Fortunately, the Zhang family could help find other jobs in the future. Cooking was indeed good. Yes, it's settled. If other people come, they'll have to pay more. The more they dig, the richer the village will be. Don't let them bring their own food. They'll either starve or buy our food. This time, it was Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's turn to be stunned. This old man was tough. In the past, only a few small restaurants didn't allow people to bring their own drinks. They didn't expect the old man to say something like this. He didn't teach his family what to say in this situation. It seemed like they could only let him do it himself. The person in the inner courtyard didn't disappoint. He immediately said, "To Muramasa, it won't do if you don't let them bring food. I have an idea. Let them bring it, and we'll hire some people to dig. Then, we'll buy the village's food for them. It'll definitely be better than the food brought by others. Give them more money, and when the outsiders see it, they'll naturally quit. Yes, we have to compete. Comparisons are odious. Let's do as you say. Let's go back and wait for dinner. There's a lot of food today. It'll be enough to eat." The old man slapped his thigh and agreed to the Zhang family's proposal. This made the person breathe a sigh of relief. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were carried back like this. It was easy to deal with now that the matter was settled. As for the salary that would be paid after a month, the two of them were not in a hurry. They would be paid according to the amount of coal they mined. As long as it was enough to buy the delivered food, they would start to pay. The group of people returned to the village. Most of the people went to repair the road. Only the people in charge of cooking were busy there. In order to welcome Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, the villagers cooked the meat that the Zhang family had given over the past 2 days. After eating the meat on the first day, they put salt on it and hung it on the stove. This way, it could be preserved for a longer time. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw that the villagers had taken out almost everything that could be eaten at home. They even killed the chickens that they usually couldn't bear to kill. They felt a little sorry, especially the bacon, which was taken down as soon as it was smoked. "Xiaobao, they don't lack salt here, right? Let's ask someone to send some salt over next time. Is it your favorite bacon? Why did I feel that it wasn't delicious before?" Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao had been placed on the ground. To be precise, they were placed on 2 big logs, one in front and one in front. The two of them were still sitting there. There were a few children playing next to them. If there was anything, they could just call them. Zhang Xiaobao thought about the taste of the bacon. "It's okay to eat a little. As long as it's not a critical moment, I usually don't eat it. Every family makes different kinds of bacon. Maybe the taste here is better. I know what to ask the villagers to do in the future." What to do? Wang Wan just asked Zhang Xiaobao to treat the villagers better. Zhang Xiaobao also agreed. In just a short while, he thought of what to do. Raise pigs. Raise a lot of them. Raise a few thousand of them. See if there is a barren mountain in the county. When the time comes, let them occupy it and raise the pigs there.
After a year, it will be easy.
They know how to make sausages, right? Some of the meat can be made into sausages. Some of the pork ribs and spine bones can be sold to the people of Huayuan County. Let the people make these two kinds of bones into snacks and sell them. Pig head meat is also fine. People nowadays don't like to eat pork, but the smoked pig head meat is really good. We can put it in lunch boxes and sell it. The pig hair can be made into writing brushes for the children to use. The most important thing is the hind legs of the pig. Let them make ham. We can help to export it. Zhang Xiaobao listed the benefits of the pig one by one.
He felt that it was good.
Wang Wan listened for a while and shook her head.
The first part of what you said is okay.
But the last part of the ham doesn't seem good. You have to find a good wood to smoke it. Just like Beijing roast duck, you have to use some jujube wood. The cost is too high.
Smoke.
This doesn't need to be smoked.
Just use salt. When the ham was first produced, it was pickled with salt. Later on, there were more processes. In the beginning, there weren't so many processes. It's just like making sausages.
It's not so complicated. Let's try it. Zhang Xiaobao didn't think that the ham had to be smoked. He would think about how to make it later.
At least, it had to be pickled with salt.
Wang Wan stuck out her tongue. Then let's try it. If you don't do it well, you will be blamed. Why don't you raise sheep? Everyone likes to eat sheep, especially the mutton soup.
You can also make it with some cheap goods.
The two of them discussed for a while and decided to let the villagers of Yushu village raise pigs.
Other than the ham, the consumers would be the ordinary people.
If the rich people didn't want to eat pork, they wouldn't consider it.
The sky slowly turned dark as the two of them chatted.
At this time, the food was ready.
The road workers were also rushing back with their tools.
Chapter 344. The moon was bright and the stars were shining brightly. It was quiet on both sides of the river. Suddenly, the sound of horses galloping could be heard. They were restless. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were just about to eat when they heard that their father was looking for them. They couldn't stay any longer.
They put down their chopsticks and asked someone to find a horse. They were carried onto the horse one after another. Under the shocked gazes of the villagers of Elm Village, they followed the man into the distance.
What happened?
Zhang Xiaobao turned to ask the guard beside him in order to have more time to think. The yamen runners on the other side of the river caught some robbers today.
Only one escaped the net.
The rest were all caught.
These people said that they were ordered to do it by a trading company.
The trading company has a single line of communication with them. Master is worried because they can't find the person.
The guard leaped forward a little and shouted to Zhang Xiaobao. He was in the limelight. Oh, so they don't know which trading company is behind this. If I had known, I would have gone back after eating.
Since the robbers have been caught, the trading company would not do it personally unless they want to expose themselves. If they stand out now, it would be useless even if they are relatives of the emperor. The emperor can even kill relatives.
Zhang Xiaobao was not worried this time and said to Wang Wan.
Wang Wan nodded and asked, "Is that person very important?
How did he escape?"
"He is not that important. He was sent by the other side to pick us up. We thought we could catch him, but he disappeared after jumping into the water. There are people patrolling on the river, but we did not see his head above the water. We also sent a boat to cast a net, but we still could not see him. It was as if he disappeared in an instant. Master is worried that he will go back and tell the trading company what happened here.
He is worried that the trading company has other means. It would not be good if they send people to hurt the young master and the young lady.
Therefore, he sent the two of us to bring the young master and the young lady back." The guard shouted in reply again.
Wang Wan nodded to show that she heard.
She said to Zhang Xiaobao, "It seems that the person has a tube or something on him.
He can breathe in the water near the shore. Why don't they jump in to find him? They only care about patrolling with boats." It doesn't matter.
If there is really a trading company behind the robbers, they will naturally know when the robbers are caught.
Zhang Xiaobao didn't care much about this. It's not like that. If we catch that person, won't we know who's behind it?
Wang Wan felt that this person knew the most important thing.
Zhang Xiaobao smiled and choked on his words.
If we really catch this person, he will definitely say that he is a cloth merchant. After all the torture, a person who is so well prepared, knows how to use other things to breathe in the water, and is also a good swimmer. Under normal circumstances, we will want to ask him something.
So they are from the cloth trade. Is the Chen family involved?
They used to cut off our water supply, but were harmed by us once.
They have a motive. When Wang Wan heard the name Bu Xing, the first thing that came to her mind was the Chen family. You didn't hear it carefully just now.
If I said we really catch him, he will definitely say that he is from the cloth trade.
If he says it is the cloth trade, is it really the cloth trade?
The Chen family is not stupid. If we don't take the initiative to find trouble with them, they should be burning incense at home.
They can't wait to hide from us. Why would they jump out and tell us that there is another Chen family? Zhang Xiaobao directly excluded the Chen family.
Even if he decided to take the time to harm the Chen family once in the future, he wouldn't think that it was the Chen family. Not only did he exclude the Chen family, but he also couldn't do anything to them in the future.
He needed to make use of them.
Wang Wan thought for a while and also figured out what was wrong.
Then who do you think it is?
Is it some other marquis or something?
Seeing that our family is making so much money, they are coming to harm us.
Maybe it is someone who can compete for the position of Crown Prince, or even someone sent by the Crown Prince himself.
Does that kind of person need to do that?
They can just look for my father and give him some pointers.
My father will know what to do. Isn't it just giving up the profits?
Our family has always given people two impressions. One is that we are strong.
Anyone who dares to have designs on Zhuangzi will be dealt with.
The other is that we are weak. As long as you think your status is good enough, you can come over and we will give up the profits. They didn't come over directly, which means that their status is not prominent. But they can support those people to rob us and sell the goods. This let us know that they still have some power. This power is not in the official circles, or it should be said that they don't want to make use of people in the official circles.
Zhang Xiaobao was analyzing.
Wang Wan felt that it was reasonable and asked, "Then can you guess who it is?"
Tubo people.
They suffered a loss last time, so they are coming to deal with us this time?
The Tubo people are not here to rob us. They are here to kill us and steal our goods.
They really want to make life difficult for us. After killing us a few times, no one is willing to cross this river. The people who instigated them are not outsiders, but our own people. Our small river allows those merchants who don't have much money to use small boats to transport goods.
This is robbing other people's business. They are robbing other people's business. They are robbing other people's business. Those who rely on Jingshui River to make money are not willing. If it were me, this would be a warning. Next time, it won't be a problem here. It will be a problem at our shipyard by the Jingshui River in Prefecture. For example, there will be a fire and you can't buy wood locally.
These kinds of things can happen.
This is a second warning.
Zhang Xiaobao was very sure about the general suspects. If there was only hatred, they would not just rob and not kill. It was also because of benefits. Wang Wan listened and felt that it was a waste of Zhang Xiaobao's talent to be a swindler. He should have been the director of the Special Second Division. He only had information about the robbery, and he was able to analyze so much.
He was more reliable.
It was the same when he fought with others in a battle of wits. He did not need to have too much information, just a little bit would be enough. If he was really given an intelligence agency, how much valuable information would they be able to find? As long as he had a clue, he would be able to deduce the general situation. It was just like the popular saying, "Don't stretch out your hand. If you stretch out your hand, you will be caught." Wang Wan did not know if it was the system that made people like Zhang Xiaobao disappear or if it was fate.
However, she still wanted to know what those people would do, so she asked, "Then what will the third warning be? Do you think they will have a third chance?"
"There are only 2 chances. The first time is when they are exposed.
The second time is arranged by us. After that, it will be time for us to counterattack."
In a battle between 2 ace snipers, will there be a third chance? Besides, they are not ace snipers. If it were me, I would definitely not do that.
If they did not take action, it would be fine.
But since they took action, they would solve the problem directly.
They would only test if they did not have detailed information. For example, we have Li Sun. Our information is out in the open. Is there a need to test?
Others know our nature.
How dare they warn us?
This time, I will make them suffer. After meeting my father, I will get someone to send a message to Li Sun. The shipyard can be prepared. It is up to them whether they want to burn it or monopolize the shipbuilding wood.
I hope it is the latter.
I like this kind of economic game.
I don't like people who break the rules.
If it is the latter, I will give them another chance. If it is the former, then they can only wait for more violent revenge. There is a fine line between heaven and hell.
At this time, Zhang Xiaobao was certain that it was done by those people on the Jingshui River. Wang Wan smiled and did not say anything. She liked Zhang Xiaobao like this.
It was just like the small bridge in the past. Where it led depended on the thoughts of the person who came.
At that time, heaven and hell were separated by a single thought.
The 3 horses were still running, but Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were not anxious at all.
They had already analyzed the situation. Zhang Zhong was in a different mood. He did not have Zhang Xiaobao's super analytical skills. He was still looking for suspects, such as the Chen family's Zhuangzi. When he heard about the trading company, he thought of the cloth company and the Chen family. He thought that the Chen family might have contacted the cloth company to find trouble with him.
"Master, don't worry.
Our Zhangjia Zhuangzi is not afraid of trouble.
Since they did not dare to come out in person, maybe they are afraid of us."
Erniu had been accompanying Zhang Zhong. When he saw Zhang Zhong's anxious look, he tried to persuade him.
"You don't know. Sometimes, some things are not as simple as they seem.
They have not really done anything yet. When they do, everything will be too late." Zhang Zhong was not as optimistic as Erniu. He was not used to this kind of thing. In the past, it was all done by his son and daughter-in-law. He studied wholeheartedly. Later, when he became the county magistrate, he learned a lot of new things. But now, when he had to face the situation personally, he realized that he still did not understand this aspect and still had to learn.
Erniu wanted to say that as long as the young master and young lady came, everything would become simple. But he did not dare to say that.
What would he do to the master? He did not dare to say that, but Zhang Zhong did not care. Wait for Xiao Bao and Cuckoo to come and ask them. Maybe we will have an idea.
"Master, I don't think you can think of it. The young master and young lady may not be able to do it."
Erniu followed up at the right time. Unexpectedly, Zhang Zhong's face sank. "Erniu, you have been following Xiao Bao all the time.
How can you say such things?
My son Xiao Bao is better than me.
Each generation is better than the last."
Erniu realized that he had said something wrong. He quickly nodded and said, "Master is right.
The young master is good. Once he comes, it will be easy."
Yes, yes. Wait for my son Xiao Bao to come. Let's see what good ideas he has. Now, nothing can go wrong with the river. Otherwise, Huayuan County and Sanshui County will be finished. When Zhang Zhong thought of his son, his mood improved a lot. The only thing he was worried about was that the company had a backup plan and would continue to cause trouble. Chapter 345. Cats fly in the night, and people can't sleep. Looking at the candlelight that has turned to ash, they sighed with emotion like flowing water.
When the trend falls, the heart is also broken.
Who does disaster cover?
But drunk with the moon.
While Zhang Zhong was waiting for his son and daughter-in-law to come back,
there was also someone who couldn't rest. In the Chen family's Zhuangzi, the head of the family, Chen Gengxin, already knew what happened during the day. He was drinking alone and cursing. Who is it? He came to the river to cause trouble and didn't reveal his identity. He only said that it was a trading company. Isn't this telling the Zhang family that it was Bu Xing who did it? But when did Bu Xing do such a thing? The Zhang family will definitely think that I asked someone to do it. What should I do? I have to make the Zhang family believe that it wasn't me. I'll go talk to them. Chen Gengxin didn't know how much he had drunk. He drank one cup after another. People said that when one was drunk, one wouldn't be afraid of anything. However, when he stood up and swayed, he was still thinking about what happened during the day. The more he wanted to forget, the more he couldn't forget. He didn't touch the food on the table and only drank. The servant in the Zhuangzi came over to help him pour wine. Seeing him like this, he was very worried. The servant wasn't afraid of Chen Gengxin, but he was afraid that he would do something to the people around him if he drank too much. If he were to think of something wrong and vent his anger on her, she would be done for. At the very least, she would not be able to avoid being whipped. Do you think I should talk to Zhang Zhong and tell him that I didn't do it? The servant was worried when Chen Gengxin turned his head and asked him. The servant was so scared that he trembled. Master, I thought that it would be useless even if you went to look for him. If you really went to look for him, others would think that you were guilty. Who is guilty? Did I do it? Tell me, who is guilty? Chen Gengxin's face darkened as he stared at the servant. It's the Zhang family who is guilty. It wasn't you. If you wanted to do it, why would you hide? It's the Zhang family who is guilty. The servant regretted making that sound just now and tried his best to make up for it, or to make the master forget that he was beside him. Chen Gengxin didn't do anything to the servant. He shook his head and said, "The Zhang family is not guilty. You don't understand. The Zhang family is thinking whether this matter is related to me. I'm not guilty. I won't go to them. What if they think I'm guilty?" Phew. The servant at the side heaved a sigh of relief and also calmed down. Master, someone is here. Someone from the Zhang family is here. He said that he has something to tell you. At this time, a gatekeeper rushed in and said nervously, "No, I'm not meeting anyone." What Zhang family? Which Zhang family? There are many people with the surname Zhang. Do you think I'm afraid of him? What did you say about the Zhang family? Is it Zhang Zhong? Chen Gengxin was still in a daze and said casually. Suddenly, he reacted and asked again. Yes, it's a guard from his family. He said that he has something to tell you. Master, are you going to meet him or not? The servant's voice trembled as he spoke. At this time, Chen Gengxin finally sobered up a little. Yes, I have to meet him. Find him and bring him in. No, invite him in. No, I will personally welcome him. No, invite him in. When Chen Gengxin said this, he struggled and changed his mind again and again. In the end, he finally decided to invite the guard in and not personally welcome him. That would make him look guilty, even if he really didn't have any confidence in his heart. Soon, the guard came in. As soon as he saw Chen Gengxin, he smiled and said to Chen Gengxin, "My master has something that he wants to let family head Chen know alone." Ah, alone? Leave, all of you leave. Tell me. Chen Gengxin drove everyone else out of the room and asked when he was alone with the guard. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still riding on the same horse. There was one less guard beside them, Zhuangzi, who was sent to the Chen family just now. The two of them hadn't eaten yet. They didn't bring their backpacks with them. After traveling in the middle of the night, they were feeling tired. This was the time when they usually slept. Finally, the lights of the dock appeared in front of them. The two of them slightly increased their speed. When they reached the shore, there were already people waiting for them. The two of them dismounted and changed boats. When they reached the opposite shore, they didn't wait for the boat to stop and jumped over one after another. "Father, your son is back. Father, is there anything to eat? I'm hungry." When Zhang Xiaobao saw his father, he ran over to the table and grabbed the brush to write on a new piece of paper.
He didn't forget to mention that he hadn't eaten yet. Zhang Zhong imagined several situations that would happen when they met.
For example, when his son saw him, he would say, "Father, it's nothing. It's simple." Or, "Father, what happened?" Or, "Father, I know." Or,
but he definitely didn't expect it to be like this. He came in and said that he was hungry. He still had to practice his son's handwriting. Erniu didn't think too much. He just listened to what others said.
When he heard the young master's words, he ran out but was stopped by Wang Wan.
"Tell the kitchen at the dock to make some noodles. It's enough for 4 people. Just empty the kitchen. You don't need to say anything else. Oh, and tell the kitchen to put the ingredients away. We'll use it later."
"Got it.
Little girl, I'll go and tell them." Erniu responded and ran away again. At the same time, he was happy in his heart. Only now could he eat the noodles.
There were only the master, the young master, and the young lady in the house. There were only 3 people.
Including himself, there were exactly 4 people. The young master and the little girl didn't usually cook. When they instructed others to cook, it would definitely be delicious. It seemed that they were preparing to cook for themselves today. Erniu went out. Zhang Xiaobao was still writing. He wrote a letter to Li Sun and asked Li Sun to arrange it. That would save him a lot of trouble in the future. Zhang Zhong was also at the side looking at his son writing the letter. With one look, he knew that the letter was written to Li Sun. After reading the contents of the letter, he was baffled. It was all about arranging some things in the dock. Something like leaving a certain place for people to easily light a fire, something about loading a few boats with sand and placing them in a place where they could light a fire together. What was all this mess going on for? He asked him to come back to help think of a solution. What did it have to do with the dock? When Zhang Zhong couldn't figure it out and Erniu came back, Zhang Xiaobao finally finished writing the letter. He dried the ink on the letter and put it in an envelope. After looking around, he found a seal and applied it, then handed it to Erniu, who had just returned. "Erniu, have someone send this letter to Li Sun as soon as possible. It must not be delayed. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable." "Yes, young master. I'll go arrange it now." Erniu ran back. Before he could catch his breath, he ran out again. Zhang Xiaobao didn't wait for his father to ask and directly said, "Father, you don't have to worry about the business. We'll go back together tomorrow. I'll go get something to eat first. I'm starving." After saying this, Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan and hurriedly ran away. Only Zhang Zhong, who was in a confused state, was left in the room. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ran to the kitchen. The noodles had already been mixed. Zhang Xiaobao rolled them into slices. Wang Wan found some green onions and cut them into small pieces. She also found some non-spicy sauce and eggs. She also found some meat and mushrooms. She cut them up and used a small stove to fry the sauce. While waiting for Wang Wan to finish frying the sauce, Zhang Xiaobao also cut the noodles into strips and put them into the other pot. He even said, "I'm too hungry. I don't have time to slowly roll it out a few more times. Let's just make do with it." Wang Wan saw this and began to look for cooked food. She found cold shredded bamboo shoots and 2 cucumbers. She patted them and made them into garlic cucumbers. She also didn't know how the ducks got the beef. She also cut it into slices and mixed it with garlic sauce. As for the soup, she didn't have time to make it. Zhang Xiaobao had already fished out the noodles. Thinking that there was no soup to cook the noodles, he simply put the noodles into cold water. He poured the water twice and put it in a basin. He put it on his head and sent it back. Wang Wan also put the dishes on the tray. She also felt that it was heavy. She held it on her head with one hand and picked up the sauce bowl with the other hand. She followed behind Zhang Xiaobao and returned to Zhang Zhong's room. Erniu also came back at this time. He had been thinking about eating. "Dad, You also haven't eaten because you were thinking about something, right? Just eat something casually. I don't have time to cook. When the basin on Zhang Xiaobao's head was taken by Erniu, he said to his father. The things Wang Wan carried were also taken by Zhang Zhong. Erniu didn't need to say anything. He directly ran to the kitchen and brought back the bowls, chopsticks, and plates. Zhang Zhong looked at the 3 cold plates. He knew that his son and daughter-in-law really didn't cook anything. Only the cucumbers were just chopped. He really didn't eat and couldn't eat. He always felt that there was a place that wanted to scheme against him hiding in the dark. Erniu served others at this time. He first served a bowl of noodles for each of the 3 people. When the 3 of them were ready to eat, he also served a bowl for himself. He sat at the side and waited for others to eat. He was used to eating with the master family, especially with the young master and young lady. He didn't feel afraid at all. Zhang Xiaobao first scooped 3 spoonfuls of sauce for his father, then 2 spoonfuls for Wang Wan. He also scooped some for himself. He pushed the sauce bowl to Erniu and said, "Put it on your own." After saying that, he and Wang Wan began to eat. The soaked noodles were really good. They lowered their heads and refused to raise it. They didn't even want the 3 dishes. After eating, Wang Wan finally reacted. She put some cucumbers in Zhang Zhong's bowl and some in Zhang Xiaobao's and her own bowls. She pushed the plate to Erniu and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "I forgot to shred the cucumbers and didn't bring the garlic. Just make do with it." Zhang Zhong felt that it was good and also ate there happily. Erniu was really good. It's delicious. The young master and young lady's food is delicious. I'll go get the garlic. After saying that, he ran away. Looking at his bowl again, there was only a little water left. There was no noodles at all. Chapter 346. On one side of the mountain, there were pavilions and small buildings for people to swim in. On the other side of the water, there was a gentle murmur. Paddlers walked along the shore with bamboo poles. On the other side, they were happy and sad. They listened to children singing about fishing boats. "Dad, Dad, here, here." At the little Luoshui pier, a group of children were carrying backpacks and preparing to go to the other side of the mountain. A girl among them looked at the boat in the water and suddenly shouted to one of them. When a middle-aged man and a 15 or 16-year-old boy stood out and looked over, she waved her hand and turned to the other children beside her and said, "My house is here. I'll bring you to my house later. My brother's roasted shrimp is delicious." "Wei Wei, is it comfortable to sleep on the boat?" A 6 or 7-year-old child who was about the same age as Wei Wei asked curiously. "Well, more or less. I fell asleep after a while." Wei Wei looked at her house and put the backpack in front of her. She opened it and took out the things inside. "Wei Wei, why are you here?" the middle-aged man asked Wei Wei when the boat came over. He was relieved when he saw that there were other children beside Wei Wei. Wei Wei happily moved forward and let the boat come closer. When the boat came closer, she began to pass the things in the bag to the middle-aged man and her brother. "Brother, Dad, this is what I got when I went to school for the half-month exam. There are 5 century eggs, 3 salted goose eggs, 1 foot of silk, and a new set of toys for playing house. I changed them into hairpins and gave them to my mother. These 10 copper coins are also my reward. Dad, you don't have to pay me next month. I learned well. They didn't ask for money and even gave me things. Dad, you don't have to make clothes for me. The school will make them for me." Wei Wei handed the items over one by one and said that each one was correct. Then, she pointed at the 5 seeds embroidered on her chest. One of them was a sprout. Wei Wei has a sprout now. In half a month, she has recognized 113 words. They said that other than Sister Lu, Wei Wei is the fastest to recognize the most. The middle-aged man took the items one by one. Hearing his daughter's words, a look of disbelief appeared on his face. In just half a month, he had spent 100 copper coins to send his daughter to school. Including food and lodging, he had to fork out another 50 copper coins. In just half a month, His daughter had brought back so many things for his family. 2 kinds of eggs and a foot of silk would cost more than 20 copper coins, which was close to 30 copper coins. He also got back 10 copper coins. There was also a hairpin. This hairpin would cost at least 40 copper coins. In total, it was half a month's worth of tuition, food and lodging. Also, from next month onwards, he would no longer need to take money from Zhongjia Zhuangzi. He had not seen his daughter for half a month, and she had become fairer and fatter. Would Zhongjia Zhuangzi do this? Could it be that his daughter had stolen other people's things? Thinking of this, the middle-aged man's face darkened. He was just about to ask when a person wearing the Zhang family's inner court uniform came over. He was holding a small bag in his hand. You must be Wei Wei's father, right? I am the Zhang family's 3-star errand boy. This time, I brought the children out to have a look and see the people and things outside. I originally planned to look for your boat when I returned. Your boat has always been sailing between the clouds and the water. I didn't expect to meet you here. This is Wei Wei's other prize. Please take a look. The errand boy handed the bag over and said, In the future, Wei Wei doesn't need you to pay a single copper coin. Everything will be managed by the Zhang family. Fishing doesn't require too many people. As for your son, Lu Feng, if he is willing, the Zhang family can arrange a job for him. Ah, this is salt. It's at least 5 catties. Zhang Zhongren took the bag and immediately knew what it was. He opened it and was even more certain of the things inside. He knew that the salt here was controlled by the provincial government. It wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. Fortunately, he didn't eat a lot. The official price was 10 to 15 copper coins per bucket. When he went to buy it, some sold for 30 copper coins per bucket, while others sold for 40 copper coins. 5 catties of salt was 20 copper coins. However, this salt was different from what he usually ate. This was fine salt, so it was whiter than the usual salt. It wasn't easy to buy it, even if one had the money. After listening to the errand boy's words, it seemed that his daughter Wei Wei was enjoying a good life there. His son could also find a new job. Father, I want to work and earn money to support the family's expenses. The middle-aged man's son reacted quickly. The other things weren't important. If the Zhang family said that they would find a job for him, it definitely wouldn't be something that could be found anywhere. This kind of good thing was brought by his sister, so he definitely couldn't miss it. He pulled his father's arm and reminded him. The middle-aged man didn't agree just because of a few words. He asked again, What's so good about my Wei Wei? Don't worry, the Zhang family won't harm Wei Wei. Wei Wei has learned more things in half a month than other people combined in 2 months. She hasn't learned anything before, and she's smart and not inflexible. That's why the Zhang family made this decision, the errand boy explained patiently. Seeing that his father was still asking, his son became anxious. Father, if the Zhang family wants to harm us, what other methods do they have to use? Oh right, the Zhang family is good. Then what can my son do? At this time, the middle-aged man also thought it through. With the power of the Zhang family, as long as his home was still on this river, it was too easy for the Zhang family to harm them. There was no need for them to go through so much trouble. There are 3 workshops in Sanshui County, and one of them is a food processing workshop. The original manager can't handle it, mainly because his skills in processing seafood and freshwater fish and shrimp are not good enough. I heard from Wei Wei that Lu Feng is better than ordinary fishermen in this aspect. He can be the manager of the seafood processing workshop there. Is it possible? The errand boy directly gave the position of manager. Although it wasn't the chief manager of the workshop, it had a lot of power and responsibility. Naturally, it would be more profitable. Wei Wei also knew some things when she was studying there. When she heard that her brother was going to be the manager, she happily said to her father, Father, that manager will get a salary of 500 copper coins a month. He will also be given food, clothing, accommodation, and transportation during the holidays. He can work for 10 days and take a day off to go home. Really? The middle-aged man didn't expect the Zhang family to directly give such a position. He turned around and looked at his son, afraid that his son couldn't do it. Feng met his father's gaze and said, "Father, I will try. If it really doesn't work, I will come back to continue fishing." The middle-aged man finally relaxed and nodded, "Okay, then my son will try. This errand boy, if my son causes any trouble, look for me. I will take responsibility." The errand boy was also relieved. He didn't expect that it would be so difficult to arrange a better place for someone to work. If it wasn't for Wei Wei, he wouldn't have cared about his son. "Don't worry, as long as Lu Feng doesn't put poison in the seafood processing, he won't cause any trouble. Tomorrow, let Lu Feng go to the Li family's farmstead and find the person in charge there, then he can go and do his job. I still have to continue playing with the children. Goodbye." After the errand boy was settled, he cupped his hands to the middle-aged man, patted Wei Wei's head, and walked back. "Father, I'm going to play. I'm going to play at the lake over there. You can go there by boat." Wei Wei put her backpack on her back and said to her father. Then she went back. The other children at the dock wanted to go to Wei Wei's house to take a look, but seeing that the errand boy didn't want to go, they gave up the idea. After the group of children left, Wei Wei's mother came out of the cabin. Just now, she couldn't show her face because her man and son were there, so she could only stay in the cabin and listen. When she heard that her daughter had exchanged a toy for a hairpin for her, she even wiped a few drops of tears. "Mother, I have something to do." Feng saw his mother come out and said happily, "Good, when you get there, do your job well. Don't embarrass your sister. They are so good to us because of your sister." Wei Wei's mother also knew why the Zhang family did this. The middle-aged man was in a good mood and handed over the hairpin in his hand. "Madam, look, this is what your daughter earned for you." "What, madam? She is an old woman. Quickly send this to the first family in Linshui." Wei Wei's mother snatched the hairpin, blushed, and turned back to the cabin. The middle-aged man slightly pushed the boat, and like a small fish, the boat changed direction and went to the first family in Linshui. With a turn and a push of the pole, the boat was perfectly controlled. Just this move of the pole was enough to deter many people who were rowing the boat. The middle-aged man smiled and muttered, "Our Lu family is all good at this." During the hunting season, the toads in the field croaked regardless of day or night. Some people listened leisurely, while others felt irritated. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan belonged to the group of people who were leisurely. The two of them were swimming in the area behind the yamen where the family lived. The second courtyard that they entered would be the courtyard where the two of them would live in the future. The courtyard door would reopen elsewhere, leaving only a small door here. The two of them held important positions in the family. Many people in the inner courtyard had to come over to discuss matters, so they were given a courtyard with two entrances. In addition to the yamen at the front and the garden at the back, there was a small corner door next to it that allowed people to come directly to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The coal from Elm Village was being loaded into carts and shipped away by boat to Zhangjia Zhuangzi to be used for smelting. It had only been half a month, so no one had noticed or interfered. The two of them were lying on the surface of the water, holding on to the letter written by the frustrated Li Sun. The letter stated that no one had lit the fire, and no one had bought a large amount of wood. Li Sun was asking Zhang Xiaobao if the expert in his imagination had made a mistake in his calculations. "Xiaobao, did you calculate wrongly? Did we underestimate the enemy? No one from Jingshui River has come to make trouble." Wang Wan was also a little uncertain. They had waited for half a month, but nothing had happened at the river. Zhang Xiaobao and Wei Wei smiled and said, "If it were me a few days ago, I wouldn't have done anything either. It wouldn't have worked, and I would have exposed myself in advance. In another 2 days, the winter wheat will be harvested. That's the time when the transportation ability is tested the most." Chapter 347. Wang Wan did not expect Zhang Xiaobao to be so certain. He even deployed another step. "There has been no movement for half a month. How can you be so sure?"
Half a month is nothing. For a purpose, there are many things that can be done for years.
The county has started to build roads. There is no asphalt, no cement, and no bluestone roads. They can only use some gravel to pave the roads. It will take a year or two to repair. Zhang Xiaobao was not willing to spend more time on schemes, so he changed the topic to people's livelihood. He liked to do things related to people's livelihood. He also wanted to do this to cheat money. Unfortunately, God did not give him much time. He just started, and he was not afraid for the rest of his life. His family was powerful. Wang Wan also did not want to ask why Zhang Xiaobao was so certain. Well, let's not care about other things. Let's talk about road repair. In fact, it is not a problem. A car with wooden wheels needs to be repaired. How much can it overload? Besides, it is not difficult to repair this kind of road. Didn't you see that when it rains, no matter how bad the road is, the people living on both sides of the road will come out to repair it? The more people there are, the fewer potholes on the road. Without anyone telling them, they will repair it themselves. Yes, they will repair it themselves. This kind of thing seems normal now. In the future, get some gravel and put it on both sides of the road. It is not worth much. A pile is only 1 or 2 coins. Leave it there for a year. Unless the rain is too heavy and washes it away, it can be used to pave the road. Zhang Xiaobao was multitasking just now. He was thinking about road repair and coal at the same time. He was thinking about habitual thinking. He remembered some pictures from 100 years ago. There were always piles of gravel on the side of the road in the village. At that time, people would not take gravel to their houses. When the road was not good due to the rain, except for specific people, some old men in the village would take a shovel and help to pave the road. It was hard to understand their motives. Since it could be done at that time, perhaps it could be done better in this era. Wang Wan did not think too much and said, "Let's go, Xiaobao. The two of us will go and take a look. You can catch some toads in the field and stew them for dinner tonight. Toads are beneficial insects. Don't lie to the child. Basically, the louder the voice, the more they eat. Let's go." Wang Wan was not a member of the Animal Protection Association. She just wanted to eat toads. She even had a pond at home. The two of them climbed out of the swimming pool. Zhang Xiaobao specifically found a 2-pronged fork to fork the toads. Just as the two of them went out, they came to a small ditch by the side of a field. Before Zhang Xiaobao could do anything, a fast horse ran over. "Young master, this time, the Chen family's leading cloth company has started to purchase a large amount of wheat. They said that they want to ship it to Sichuan and sell it to the garrison there." The person on the horse said something to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao and Wei Wei smiled and said, "I know. Don't worry about it. Just pretend it didn't happen." "Yes," the man on the horse answered. He held the reins and turned the horse around to gallop away. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while and tightened his grip on the fork. "Don't worry about it. Let's enjoy life and continue to fork the toads. Someone is going to be unlucky again." Wang Wan felt sad for those who came to find trouble. From time to time, one or several small boats could be seen on the connected river. They were carrying people and goods. Zhang Zhong had found 3 places where they could pull the fibers. It did solve the problems of life for dozens of people. Every day, people would ask them to pull the fibers in order to save time. Unexpectedly, not only did they pull the fibers themselves, but they also borrowed money to buy a few donkeys. With the donkeys pulling the fibers, the speed was much faster. The people pulling the fibers were relieved, and the owners of the boats were happy. When Zhang Xiaobao heard about this, he asked people to pay attention to the person who came up with the idea. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were really short of manpower. They only had a few people, but their business was too big. They did not even have a mobile person. Erniu was also sent out to manage the coal mine. The children in Zhuangzi's school were studying hard, but they were too young to use them. The academy had just been built, and the teachers had not all arrived yet. Facing the situation, the main force pulling the fibers by the river,
Sun Chongyuan, who still knew how to use his brain and courage, was put on the list of people to pay attention to. At this time, Sun Chongyuan was commanding a few people to pull the boat together. This boat was not big, but it was heavy. No one knew what was on it, but the people pulling the fibers were worried that the boat would run aground. The 6 of them put a white linen cloth on their shoulders. The innermost layer was a layer of leather, which could make their shoulders more comfortable. There were also 4 donkeys harnessed there, pulling with them. The donkeys were strong and had good endurance, but sometimes they were not obedient. Otherwise, no one would use them. Brother Chongyuan, what do you think is on this boat? It's so heavy. Don't tell me it's stones? One of the people pulling the fibers asked Sun Chongyuan, who was beside him. Don't think too much. We did not offend anyone. Who would put stones on this boat to make us suffer? The people coming here are looking for money, not for energy. If it's really stones, then they are precious stones. Ordinary stones are useless when transported here. Who knows, they might be filled with copper coins. Sun Chongyuan moved his feet. With the donkey pulling in front of him, he saved a lot of energy. He was even able to switch the rope from his left shoulder to his right. This switch made him feel much more comfortable. He glanced back and saw a few people standing on the bow of the boat. He quickly turned his head back and continued to pull. The people standing at the bow of the boat were also looking around. They felt that this place was interesting. There were actually people pulling fibers. The people at the bow of the boat also knew about some of the things happening in Huayuan County. In just 20 days, a place that no merchants were willing to come to in the past had a large number of merchants. Some were transporting food, some were transporting cloth, and some were transporting salt and meat. It gave people the feeling that this was not the Zhong County that was made poor by County Magistrate Wen, but a Shang County. Brother Chen Yuan, did you see that? Huayuan County's County Magistrate Zhong Zhong is a capable person. Since he took office, he first took in the bailiffs. Then, he took in those documents. Xiao Qi was sent to Beijing the moment he took action. His house was also raided. The last time he was here was half a year ago, right? At that time, the people of Huayuan County were all in a daze. What about now? He was so happy when he was working. This was his ability. If he was the head of a manor, he would be able to turn a middle county into an upper county within 2 years. If he was the county magistrate, he would be able to turn the entire county upside down within a month. He has politics, commerce, agriculture, and even an official. He is also the top scorer of this year's Jinshi. This kind of person, no matter where you put him, you will feel at ease. The only thing you don't know is how he is in terms of military strategy. If he can do this, won't he be an all-rounder? At the bow of the boat, a person wearing light yellow clothes with green stripes said to the person next to him. The person next to him was also wearing light yellow clothes, but the color was light green. At this time, he was looking with his hands behind his back. When he heard the person next to him, he said, "Brother Wei Tong, are you scared? Everyone says that Zhongjia Zhuangzi is very powerful and that the small bridge is the bridge of helplessness. I don't believe it. No matter how powerful he is only one person. If you and I work together, won't it be easy to deal with him? We are not people from the grain company, and we are not people who don't have the ability to do anything. If we were not in the same place, it would be fine. But this river here, how much business has he stolen from us? If we retreat, how can we raise our heads in front of others in the future? Brother Chen Yuan, whether we raise our heads or not is not important. The main thing is that Bu Xing, who dares to interfere at this time. If they take in the goods, how can we take in the goods? They raise the price and take in the goods, saying that they will take in some of the goods. If that is the case, how can we still get wheat? Are we going to wait for the spring wheat and rice crops to harvest? The person who spoke earlier did not care about his reputation. Merchants like them did not think that reputation was important. Compared to farmers, their status was inferior. Even if they were richer than farmers, what he cared about was money. Everyone knew that grain was needed at the border. The production of grain around the capital was poor, so it had to be transported from the south. Every year, when it was time to harvest, they could take advantage of the opportunity to lower the price and raise the price to make a profit. The more capital they invested, the more they would earn. The person who was called Chen Yuan was also thinking about this matter. What was different this year from previous years was that basically every family in Sanshui County grew rice. If they could not get the wheat this time, or if they could not use transport to lower the price, when a large amount of rice was harvested, no one would look for them again. Just thinking about what was about to happen made him uncomfortable. This time, no matter what, he had to get the wheat and ship it out to sell. While he was thinking about this matter, the person next to him said, "Brother Chen Yuan, we still have to think about this matter.
We can't rush it. Why don't we ask that person from the Chen family?" This time, he was pushed to the front. "I heard that he is not on good terms with the Zhang family. Why don't we take this opportunity to get in touch with him?" "Well, that's good too. Even if we can't touch the Zhang family's foundation, we have to let them know who they can and can't afford to offend. We'll be at the docks soon, right? Let's see what they've done to the docks. If we can make use of it, this trip will not be in vain." Perhaps he was tormented by the situation and had no other choice. He thought there was nothing in this world that could not be united. It was just that he had not found that door yet. After he said this, the two of them went silent again. They just stood at the bow of the boat, letting the wind blow past them from time to time. Sometimes, it would blow up the corners of the boat, and sometimes it would blow their hair into a mess. In short, it showed a kind of freedom. Chapter 348. As the two of them talked, they walked for a while before a connected garden appeared in front of them. The two of them didn't understand why a garden was built not far from the pier. Of course, they didn't know that one of the 16 businessmen who went to Hua Yuanxian's yamen had ancestors who practiced medicine. One of them had even been an imperial physician. However, in his life, he found that he would starve to death if he went on like this. That was why he was determined to be a rich man since he was young. He wanted to eat and drink well. Regardless of whether it was his persistence or talent, he traveled a long way on the road of business. He planned to build a warehouse of medicinal materials next to the dock. People who practiced medicine not only knew how to treat patients, but also knew how to distinguish medicinal materials. They also knew how to store and keep medicinal materials. They even knew how to do some processing. Before the warehouse of medicinal materials was built, his father came. Compared to him, his father was more skilled in medicine. It was said that the person who wrote the prescription used to live in a mountain in Huayuan County. Mu Ming had come here to meet with the merchant. While he was preparing to build a warehouse for medicinal ingredients, his father wanted to stay here and take a look. At the same time, he also wanted to treat a few people. However, the people who were sent by Zhang Xiaobao to find out what business they wanted to do found out. They went back and told Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao was a person who wouldn't miss such an opportunity. He immediately found his father to discuss it. Under the lead of his father, Zhang Zhong, and the businessman's father, a place to treat patients was built in a short time. However, this was still not enough. When practicing medicine, it was impossible for everyone to be treated with acupuncture and medicine. Some people needed long-term treatment. Zhang Xiaobao handed over this matter and built some wards for the hospital, specifically for observation and treatment of patients. It was a very simple thing, but it was also a waste of resources. Just because of Sun Simiao's name, Zhang Xiaobao pushed it out. It didn't matter whether the businessman's father was skilled or not. What was important was that there would be many medical students coming to see the mountain where Sun Simiao lived. If they felt that the medical skills of the people in the hospital were not good enough, they would naturally put forward their own opinions. Then, the people arranged by Zhang Xiaobao would find a way to keep them. In the name of saving the common people, they would use Sun Simiao's name to expand the hospital. In order to compensate the merchants for the 5,000 strings of coins and the ginseng they sent, they took out a few hundred strings of coins. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan designed this place that combined treatment and cultivation.
They found someone to plant some willow branches and waited for them to slowly grow into willow trees. He then contacted the person who sold the cotton and bought some cotton from him. Then, he asked the local people to pick some wild flowers. Gardens were built one by one. Not to mention whether the patients were really cured or not, in such an environment, one's mood was different. In the past few days, there had been people who were truly devoted to the study of medicine. They had indeed come to cause trouble. If they came, they would set up an arena. If they lost, they would not have to leave. What was the point of people like them leaving? They should be doctors here, helping out and learning more. If they won, they could not leave. Did they come here to fight to become famous? A doctor has the heart of a parent. If they leave, aren't they afraid that others will be treated badly? You have to give them some pointers. Otherwise, do you deserve Sun Simiao's precious prescription? Do you still have medical ethics? Have you never seen the sincerity of a great doctor? If you want to leave, then leave. Anyway, there are many people coming and going. In the future, I will help you spread the word. You don't save people and rely on small Taoists. What kind of doctor are you? What? You are a doctor? You want to go back to the palace? Then why did you come out? You can treat people in the palace, but not in the county? Is there a difference between rich and poor when sick? Say. There are countless people who are sick in the world. If you can treat one person, you can leave a record of your treatment. Learn from Sun Simiao's selflessness and pass it on to the later generations. Every time you treat a person, you can let the later generations have the experience of treating people and engrave it on a tombstone. As for the money and medicine, you don't have to worry too much. When a doctor thinks that there is a time when there is no doctor in the world, how can a businessman have a heart of stone? I will give you money to spend and help you collect medicinal materials. I will also give you help from the county government office. You can stay. After a series of big words, threats and inducements, most of the skilled people were fooled into staying. In just a few days, they treated more than 10 people, making the reputation of the clinic rise. In front of them was the main traffic road, and behind them was the mountain where Sun Simiao used to live. The 80 books he wrote were recorded and engraved on the stone tablet on the mountain and on the big billboards in various places of the hospital. This kind of effort made the businessman, who thought that he had lost 5,000 strings of coins, smile happily. After other businessmen heard about it, they were also willing to invest here. The county government office didn't cheat others of their money and really helped them to do things. In addition to this hospital, the other 15 businessmen, who worked together to build a place or worked alone, were all taken care of by Zhang Xiaobao. Some wanted to build a restaurant. Zhang Xiaobao specially sent people to deliver seasonings, providing long-term supply. He also taught them how to make fast food. Originally, there was already fast food at this time, but it was not very convenient to carry it around. Zhang Xiaobao asked people to contact them to buy and sell vegetable oil. They tried to use more fried food, not because it was good, but because it was convenient to carry. He also provided them with a stable lunchbox manufacturing factory, which was the one in the 3 workshops that processed wood. In the name of helping, Zhang Xiaobao could also make some money. Some people wanted to build a carriage company, so Zhang Xiaobao also asked his father to start building roads here first. He helped them to finish the road construction as soon as possible, so that transportation would be convenient. Even if there were 2 businessmen who worked together at first, but they didn't know what to build and only wanted to build a warehouse, Zhang Xiaobao could also think of a good idea for them. In the summer, they would freeze the cheap meat they collected and wait until winter to resell it. They would be able to earn the difference in price. From next year onwards, as long as the river was frozen, they would be able to dig out the frozen river and keep it until the next winter to provide air conditioning for the cold storage. This year was simple. At the Shao Luo Shui wharf, there was still a lot of ice left last year. They were worried that there was no place to sell it. Some of that ice could be used to eat and drink, and some could only be put in the house to cool down. They transported it from there and sold it to 2 businessmen at a cheaper price. Following the river, they could use their own boats to quickly support the cold warehouse. After helping the businessmen, Zhang Xiaobao sold a lot of his goods. He also provided a handicraft manufacturing job opportunity for the people in Sanshui County and Huayuan County. The businessmen were satisfied. A lot of the money they took out was used on them, such as planting trees, repairing roads, etc. Zhang Zheng, the county magistrate, also helped them to solve some of the raw materials. The people were also satisfied. As long as they had some craftsmanship, they could make things after receiving the raw materials shipped by the Zhang family. They didn't have to worry about not being able to sell the finished products. They had already contacted good people, and the people who got the raw materials saved some money. The people in the 3 workshops were also satisfied. Now that they had the demand of the businessmen in Huayuan County and the river was connected to them, as long as the products were not too bad, they could sell them. Their welfare also increased a lot. The relatives of the Zhang family and the Wang family were satisfied. They were originally afraid that it would be difficult to sell too many things. Now, with Zhang Xiaobao's help, not only could they sell the goods, but they could also help others. Good people, all of them were good people. While Li Sun was satisfied, he was also shocked. He felt that the expert from the Zhang family would not let go of even the slightest chance. He would link everything together and let the Zhang family gain benefits, and let the people who cooperated with the Zhang family gain benefits as well. It could not be said that the Zhang family was pushed to do something by the Zhang family, or the Zhang family was enticing others to do it. Anyway, in the end, everyone was happy. Even Baigo's nephew wrote a letter to his uncle, saying that the Zhang family shipyard was the first to send the boats over. They could rent or sell them, and this made a lot of money for his wharf. This cooperation made the people outside feel the capability of the Zhang family again. This was also what worried the people on the boats a little. The 2 of them knew the power of the Zhang family, but sometimes they had to do something. They were used to making money by the Jing River. The Jing River was their rice bowl. The connection of the small river would steal their rice bowl. If they didn't act now, they wouldn't have another chance after this year. When the small merchants got used to this road and worked together, they wouldn't be able to act even if they wanted to. Some of the bigger merchants even started to use this small river to transport their goods when they were in low quantities. The 2 of them stood at the bow and watched. They saw the rapid development of Huayuan County and saw the business opportunities brought by this river. There were even more business opportunities than their big river. The big river's current was fast, so it was impossible to stop the boats everywhere, but the small river could. It was strenuous to go against the flow of the big river, but it was easy to go against the small river. When the big river reached the capital, they had to take a detour. There was no need to use the small river. If someone fell into the river, it was too difficult to save them. If someone fell into the river, they could be picked up by any boat. Those who knew how to swim could swim to the shore. If there were shortcomings, it was nothing more than the small river's transport capacity was limited. Big boats couldn't use the small river, and the speed was not as fast as the big river. However, these 2 shortcomings were not shortcomings. How many people could use the small river to transport goods? The speed was not as fast as the big river, but there was no backlog. Once the goods were loaded, they could leave. Chapter 349. Guoran, Gua Qinyuan, Mi Fan, and Mi Weitong just watched without saying a word. They really wanted to learn how this was done. Would it work if it was on the Jingshui River? The 2 of them really couldn't figure out how this could be done in such a short time. Was the top scholar different from others? As the boat moved forward, the 2 of them also looked around. They had already entered the places where the merchants did business. Most of them were auxiliary businesses, but there were many people coming in and out. There was even one who had joined forces with little Luo Shui to set up an intermediary. The information from both places didn't go by boat, but by horse. In this way, there was an exchange of information between the 2 docks. In just one day, the new intermediary's information would be sent over, and the merchants at the 2 docks would be able to obtain more useful information. From there, they would be able to decide whether to unload the goods at the docks or ship them to the docks. When the boat reached the dock, the 2 of them realized that this dock was different from other docks. Other docks docked directly by the river, but this river was small. There were too many boats docked here, and other boats couldn't pass through. The person who built this dock had actually dug a man-made lake.
It wasn't that big to call it a lake.
It was just that at the back, there was a connecting waterway. The water wasn't too deep, but it was slightly wider. All the boats docked at the dock directly entered the waterway and unloaded from there. This way, the water flow wasn't fast, and the river wasn't blocked.
It was really convenient. How is it? Brother Chen Yuan, do you see now?
A few days ago, the people who came to ask for information didn't mention that there was a waterway here.
Today you see it. That Zheng guy doesn't have such great ability. It must be the Zhang family who told him.
Mi Fan didn't want the boat to stop. She stood at the bow of the boat with her hands behind her back and said to Guo Ren.
Guo Ren nodded. He had to admit that Hua Yuan County was changing rapidly every day. I don't know what it will be like in a few days.
Let's go, this isn't our destination. Let's go to the Chen family first, then go up and see where little Luo Shui is.
Let's not go to the Chen family for now.
I think the people from the cloth store want to take advantage of us this time. While we are in chaos, we have no reason to let them do what they want. When it comes to collecting grain, we used to rob a part of the grain store's business. It couldn't be that a lion had snatched some food that belonged to wolves in the past and found that another lion had also come over to eat it, and then said to the other lion that this was his food, right?
The result would be two lions fighting, with a wolf waiting at the side.
There would also be a person who was originally going to kill the lion, happily hiding at the side with a hunting bow in his hand.
Mi Fan thought a bit more and analyzed the situation.
She used the simplest example to explain it so that Guo Ran could understand. He was also vexed about this matter.
When there were benefits, everyone wanted to get a share. When the cloth company interfered, the grain company did nothing.
It could only be said that the grain company was waiting for an opportunity. In the past, they couldn't get a share, but now that they had lost it, they were waiting for a conflict to break out between them and the cloth company.
Then what should we do? We can't let the cloth company interfere just because this whole should belong to the grain company, right? Now that we are robbed, we can't just let the cloth company interfere, right? Look at the price they are paying.
They are actually increasing the price by 1 yuan for 1 bushel of wheat. Wait until other places find out and transport the wheat here.
Should we also increase the price by 1 yuan or even more to collect the wheat?
Guo Ren didn't think it was a good deal no matter how he thought about it. The wheat that Sanshui County could collect was too little. Other people grew rice, while Hua Yuan County grew more rice. However, the people in Hua Yuan County were starving this spring, so they wouldn't be able to sell much wheat in the fall. The extra one from the cloth company was clearly prepared for the people who grew wheat in the surrounding areas. To be more precise, it was prepared for the small merchants who bought wheat. They bought wheat and spent the transportation fees. No matter what, they could earn 3 or 4 yuan per bushel. They didn't have to manage it themselves, so they just had to arrange for people to do it. There were even some small merchants who would hoard the grains and wait for others to increase the price.
When the time came, they would consider who to sell to.
This was not the result they wanted. In the past, transporting by land was more expensive than the grain itself. Those merchants had no choice but to sell the grain to them. They controlled the Jing River.
But now, they didn't have to be afraid.
The merchants could take another route, which was more convenient for them to transport the grain. When that time came, how much would the price of this year's grain increase? Mi Fan also understood the importance of this matter. Other people were not fools. Naturally, they would estimate the price. However, he always felt that things weren't as simple as they seemed. There was a conspiracy, but he couldn't figure out where the conspiracy was. This made him have no choice but to be cautious. He knew who his opponent this time was and how powerful his opponent was. He had also heard of many people who had come to find trouble with him, but they had all been defeated in front of that ordinary-looking manner. Seeing Guo Ran beside him anxious, he advised, "Brother Cheng'en, there's no need to be like this.
Right now, we're in the dark, and they're in the light. If we really look for that Chen guy, it's very likely that we'll be exposed. We're not dealing with the cloth company, but the Zhang family. The cloth company's matter has indeed caught us a little off guard. At worst, we can give up on this. Let's deal with the Zhang family first. What's so difficult about dealing with the Zhang family? Let's show them what we're capable of and they'll know what to do. I'll let them beg us to come and get a share of the profits. Last time, I said that we should burn down their shipyard, but you didn't agree. What do you think now? They don't make big ships there, they only make small boats. We can even go to other shipyards to buy skeletons, stick a piece of wood on them, and sell it to others. This will increase the number of small boats on this river. When they make big ships in the future, if they don't sell them, we can directly transport goods on the Jing River. We still have to think about how to deal with a marquis. When Guo Ren brought up the matter of dealing with the Zhang family, he felt a bellyful of anger. The shipyard had just been built, and it was a mess. If they set fire, no one would be able to find out who did it. In the end, he brought it up a few times, but Mi Fan didn't agree. Once they started building big ships, the security there would be tighter, and it wouldn't be so easy to set fire to it. Mi Fan also knew that Guo Ren had been complaining about how he had tried to stop him back then, but he couldn't do anything about it. After being flooded once when he was young, he always knew about some dangers in advance, so he was able to prepare and avoid them. This time, just as he was about to agree to set fire to the shipyard, that uncomfortable feeling came again. And it was even worse than before, so he didn't dare to agree. Even now, he was standing at the bow of the ship with a relaxed expression, but he still felt uncomfortable. He always felt like he was being watched, and when he wanted to do something, not only did the person not stop him, but he also sneered repeatedly. Just now, when Guo Ren said that he was going to the Chen family, he couldn't help but tremble, as if he couldn't go anywhere. Now that Guo Ren brought up the matter of burning the shipyard again, he could only continue to persuade him. Brother Chen Yuan, we're all businessmen, and we're just looking for money. Last time, I listened to you and sent people to rob you. What happened? They almost found out our identities. Do you think it's so easy to set fire? It's better to be safe than sorry. Don't be anxious, let's think about it at length. Setting fire to the shipyard, we definitely can't do it unless we have no other choice. They're still so chaotic now. Didn't the people we sent to gather information say that because they were rushing to make boats, it's even more chaotic than before? It's not too late to set fire to the shipyard then. Let's go up and see if there's any other way. After hearing Mi Fan's words, Guo Ren didn't mention setting fire to the shipyard anymore. He was used to listening to Mi Fan's words, and Mi Fan was always able to let him and the others gain more benefits. Now, he had no other choice but to go up with the ship and let Mi Fan come up with ideas. Their ship was different from the small boats here. They had built it themselves, had more oars, and could row very quickly. If it wasn't for the heavy load on the ship, there wouldn't have been a need for someone to pull the cable. When it was almost noon, the two of them sat at the bow of the ship, eating and drinking with the others while admiring the scenery on both sides. In front of them, they could faintly see the restaurant between the clouds and the water. Compared to the original between the clouds and the water, there were many people coming and going between the clouds and the water now. Many people came here on small boats because it was convenient to travel. They wanted to taste the unique dishes between the clouds and the water and experience the feeling of being in the center of the water. The ship moved forward for a while and came to a man-made lake. Reeds had been planted here. Next year, or perhaps this autumn, they would see patches of reeds growing. Many people only knew that the reeds looked good, but it wasn't hard to guess that the Zhang family was preparing to cut the reeds in winter and weave them into straw curtains to sell to people who were preparing to grow vegetables in winter. Good, the scenery is really good. What do you think, Brother Wei Tong? If they didn't steal our business, I would really like to have a chat with that Zhong and come here when I have nothing to do. While eating, one of the people looked at the scenery between the clouds and the water and sighed. There were pavilions built here, and there was no lack of corridors connecting the pavilions. There were also some flowers and plants on the corridors and pavilions. When the sun shone on the water vapor appeared through the reeds. It really did feel like a trip between the clouds and the water. It's good, but I wonder what happened in front. From now on, don't say what you said just now. If someone hears it, they will expose us. Mi Fan also felt that the restaurant built in the water was good. When eating there, they could see the reeds outside, the corridors and pavilions in the lake, and the clouds in the sky and the flowing water in the distance. Sitting there, he felt that it was worth a few strings of coins. Chapter 350. The boat did not stop at the group of restaurants between the clouds and the water. It continued forward until it reached the small bridge. The small bridge had been torn down and replaced with a new bridge that was higher. Otherwise, the boat would not be able to pass. Some people made the boat special. Although it was not deep in the water, it was very high. It could carry a lot of goods, and it was not that wide. Seeing that they were about to reach the small bridge, the people sitting at the bow of the boat all stood up at the same time. They looked at the surrounding scenery in disbelief. This is the Zhuangzi of Zhang Wang and Guosan family? How is this still Zhuangzi? This is clearly a paradise on earth. One of the people came here for the first time. Even though he had heard people say that this place was good, it was not as shocking as seeing it with his own eyes. Just as Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao had designed, the villagers lived in picturesque two-story houses that had just been built. Some places were still damp. On the Zhuangzi of Zhang Wang and Guosan family, there was no ordinary road at all. Wherever one walked, it was paved with bluestone. Canals snaked through the spaces between the houses. Beside the canals were cloisters with flowers and plants on both sides of the cloisters. In addition to these, there were several ponds connected to the canals. Occasionally, one could see fish jumping up in the canals beside the pavilions. They swung their tails in the air and fell back, bringing with them a string of water droplets that sparkled under the sunlight. There were also small wooden houses in some places. It was noon, and the children who were too young to be brought out to play were walking around. A burst of laughter was heard by everyone. There was also a road that connected to the other side of the mountain. It had been built into a winding road. From time to time, birds would fly out of the mountain and circle around the ponds and the road. They would chirp and fly back, letting people see their elegant figures when they spread their wings. The Zhuangzi of Guosan family was built a little later. There was still a part that was not built, but together with the Zhang Wang and Guosan family, it looked just as charming. Everyone stood at the bow of the ship and stared blankly, as if they didn't want to leave after coming here. The people on the ships that passed by them saw them like this and could understand. When they first came here and saw such a scene for the first time, not a single one of them was not stunned. No wonder so many people are willing to come here to eat. It's not just between the clouds and the water. The two Zhuangzi are even more beautiful than between the clouds and the water. You can even go to the mountains to play. I heard that there's a pond in the mountains as well. The fish you catch will be cooked on the spot for those who go there to eat. The person who had just praised the Shuiyun Club said enviously when he saw the tourists strolling around the Shuiyun Club alone or in groups of 3 or 5. If it weren't for the fact that he had to see what was going on here, he would have gone down and followed the tourists up the stairs or strolled around the corridors. Mi Fan was also attracted by the scenery. Such a place was not easy to come by. Usually, there were few people in beautiful places. It was too cold and quiet. Wandering around those places was to experience a special kind of ethereal feeling. This place was different. Amidst the emptiness, there was a strong sense of peace. Even if there was anger in one's heart, upon seeing such a scene, seeing the laughing child, seeing the fish jumping in the canal beside the child, and then looking at the surrounding green fields, one's anger would dissipate, and he would reveal a knowing smile. If one could live here and come here to take a look when they had nothing to do, they would definitely be able to live a few more years. Occasionally, they would pick up a hoe to hoe the grass. The rural scenery was nothing more than that. Looking back at the different restaurants between the clouds and the water, they sighed with emotion. It's really good. The farmers on Zhuangzi are the ones who really enjoy life. One side is the sky, the other side is the mountain, the other side is the water, and there's also the fields. This is the scenery that people have always said, the mountain by the side and the water in the middle. Everyone nodded one after another.
When they crossed the small bridge and continued forward, they would turn back from time to time, looking back with nostalgia.
The boat traveled for another 2 hours. In the afternoon, when the sun was at its peak, everyone finally prepared to return to the cabin to take a nap. At this moment, a boat caught up with them. Its speed was very fast. The boat was narrow, so in a short while, it stuck to the boat. The boat was a little lower, so was the person standing on it. He said to the people on the boat, "Did you come from the Jingshui River? Are you the people on the boat over there? I'm a 5-star errand boy from the Zhang family.
I'm here to bring a letter for the main family." As he spoke, the man took out a sealed letter from his sleeve and handed it up.
Everyone was stunned for a moment. At the same time, they felt cold sweat seeping out. They thought that the Zhang family knew that they were behind this and had come to warn them. The person guarding the boat looked warily at the Zhang family below.
Without an order, he wouldn't accept the letter. However, Guo Ren's personality was different from the others. He said loudly, "What are you afraid of?
Just take it."
The person guarding the boat carefully took the letter. The Zhang family man said, "The main family's master said that if you think that the matter over there is feasible, you can stay in the first family by the river for 2 days. Naturally, someone will come and find you to discuss the details.
I wish you all a smooth journey. Goodbye."
After the man finished speaking, he gave the person rowing the boat a look.
The boat turned around and the 2 oars moved. In a few moments, it became a small black dot and went away.
Guo Ren took the letter and carefully looked at the outside. There was not a single word on the outside, only a picture of a rice sprout. He then looked in the direction that the boat came from. At this time, it was already gone. He thought for a moment and opened the letter with a knife. He glanced at it and handed it to Mi Fan. "Brother Wei Tong, tell me what's written inside? If you don't understand, just give it to me. Don't pretend there."
Mi Fan took the letter and began to read it carefully.
After reading 2 lines, she let out a sigh of relief. It wasn't the Zhang family warning them not to cause trouble. Instead, it was a suggestion for them to cooperate with the docks to build a large ship.
When the time came, they would travel together.
There weren't many words on the letter. It only gave a general idea, but it allowed people to understand the business opportunity contained within.
Zhang Zhong's name was written at the bottom of the letter.
There was also a private seal and a rice seedling. "It's like this. The Zhang family wants." Mi Fan read it herself and told the contents of the letter to the people who were still waiting to know what was written.
A merchant immediately said, "This is a good idea.
We also have a dock that has been built for many years.
It will be easier to build a big boat.
When the time comes, we can make more money.
I trust the Zhang family's ability to make money." When he said this, Guo Ran was not willing to accept it. "What good idea. I don't think we can work with them. Their dock has just been built. There are people who don't know how to work.
They clearly feel that it is difficult to build a big boat by themselves, so they want us to help them. Listen to what Brother Wei Tong said just now. Let our dock send a few people to teach them how to build a boat.
We will also build a boat."
Teaching them how to build a boat is what they want the most. When the time comes, the 3 workshops will all be theirs. Even if we ship the goods back, it will be difficult to sell them.
We don't want to do it. Whoever wants to do it can go and tell them.
After he finished speaking, someone beside him also felt the same and agreed with his opinion, saying, "That is indeed the case. Although they have written it, when the time comes, they will write a contract and give us a portion of the 3 workshops.
When the time comes, we will divide the profits according to the agreed upon amount."
But if they build a few more workshops and ship their goods to the workshops over there, when our goods are shipped to the workshops over there, won't it be our goods that let them make money while their goods are all theirs?
Yes, that's right. They can't be trusted. If we want to go by sea, can't we build our own boats? It's just that we don't know the details. Why don't we pretend that we want to work with them and ask for the details? When the time comes, we will work hard to build a big boat. If we don't agree to work with them, they can't say anything. Besides, we are preparing to deal with them now. If we agree and then attack them, how will the other merchants view us?" Another person chimed in from the side. Now, there were even more people who felt that it was impossible. Mi Fan was indeed tempted. Compared to Jing Shui, shipping seemed to be more profitable. Just one trip and she would be able to work in Jing Shui for 8 to 10 years. Now that he heard others say this, he also hesitated and didn't know how to choose. "Brother Wei Tong, don't think about that. Think about how to deal with the Zhang family. We can do that ourselves. Let's wait at Lin Shui's first shop and ask them clearly. Then we can discuss it. When the time comes, we will turn hostile." "What can they do?" Guo Ren suddenly spoke at this time. He snatched the letter and casually folded it before stuffing it into the envelope. Mi Fan saw that so many people were against it. Wei Wei nodded. "Fine, then let's think about how to deal with the Zhang family. When the time comes, we will go and take a look ourselves. Let's build a big boat first. We must build it well. Otherwise, when we enter the sea, we won't be able to withstand the wind and waves." Everyone was afraid that he would agree to the Zhang family. That would make things difficult. Hearing that he agreed, they would first deceive the Zhang family, then turn to deal with the Zhang family. Then, they would snatch the business in the sea. Everyone let out a sigh of relief. "Let the boat go faster. When we see little Luo Shui, we will see if we can stop some people who are transporting wheat. Our boat is loaded with tens of thousands of strings of coins. We can't make this trip for nothing. No matter what, we have to collect some wheat and go back to see the market." Mi Fan didn't want to think about the cooperation anymore. He ordered the boat to speed up. As the shouts spread, the people rowing the boat began to exert force. The heavy boat was rowed to about the same speed as the other small boats. Everyone prepared to rest for a while and entered the cabin. Before Mi Fan entered, she stood at the entrance of the cabin and looked in the direction of the Zhang family. Then, she shook her head and lowered her head to enter the cabin. At the end, she was muttering. Chapter 351. Huayuan County was different from Sanshui County. At this time, they were harvesting wheat. The winter wheat had already grown, but the work in the mountains was not done yet. Most of the people who had land could only go back to harvest. However, the work in the county could not be left undone. Zhang Zhong originally wanted to ask the Yamen in Sanshui County to release a notice to ask the people in Sanshui County to come and work. However, he was stopped by Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao did not feel that it was better to ask the people in Sanshui County to come and work than other counties. The work in Huayuan County was considered basic construction and could not directly generate economic benefits. If the people in Sanshui County came to work, no matter how much they ate and drank, the money they spent could not compare to the wages they paid. It was not a form of domestic sales to stimulate the economy. If the people in Sanshui County earned money for nothing, the people in Sanshui County would not come to live in Huayuan County. Sanshui County was better than the current Huayuan County. It was better for the people in Sanshui County, but the promotion in Huayuan County was slower. Zhang Xiaobao asked his father to find people to spread the news in other counties that Huayuan County lacked people to work. There were places like Hunan Province, where the wheat was harvested early and they were planting other crops. There should be people who were free. In the surrounding counties, there were also people who were free. He called them over and asked them to build. During the construction process, he kept talking to them about how good Huayuan County would be after the construction and how much money they could earn by living here. When they finished building, there would naturally be some people who liked Huayuan County and were willing to live here. Especially those who did not have land, it was easy for them to go anywhere. Since it was close to the capital, there was coal, and the transportation was convenient, Huayuan County should not become an agricultural county. It should exist as a processing and auxiliary place. When Zhang Zhong heard his son's words, he felt that it was reasonable. On the same day, he asked people to spread the news in the surrounding counties. At this time, there were already 500 people from the surrounding counties who came. Some even brought their families and prepared to live in Huayuan County. Zhang Zhong divided the people into two groups. One group went to repair the road near the docks, while the other group went to repair the mountain. When outsiders came to the county, some of their needs increased. Even if these people were not very rich and spent less money, they were still spending money. Zhang Zhong paid them their wages every day. In addition to the consumption driven by these people, there were also merchants who wanted to do business here. When they sold goods, they needed transportation, food, and a shop. They were also a part of the consumer group. When they brought in taxes to the county, they also increased the demand for some goods in Huayuan County. The middlemen at the docks considered the matter at Little Luo Shui. Some of the merchants who were transporting goods felt that it was not worth it to continue moving forward. Coincidentally, Huayuan County also needed goods, so they directly transported goods from the docks to the county. The number of people in Huayuan County suddenly increased, making it seem more prosperous. The law and order here was not like in Sanshui County. There were always people who wanted to do something, were caught, locked up, and then released to help repair roads elsewhere. Moreover, they were not paid. It was not easy for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to walk around the streets now. Their families were afraid that something would happen to them if the streets were chaotic. Now, both families had moved to a place behind the yamen to live. Fortunately, there were many courtyards, and there were still some people in Sanshui County. Otherwise, it would not be able to fit them. Today, Zhang Zhong wanted to go out and have a look. In the morning, other than some official business, he also closed 2 cases. Basically, there was nothing important in the afternoon. Unless there was a death or an emergency, he would postpone it until the next day. Zhang Zhong went out with the bodyguards and yamen runners. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan found an opportunity to follow Zhang Zhong out. With so many people protecting them, there was no need to worry. The yamen runners were on the periphery, and the bodyguards were in front. There were some new faces among the yamen runners. Since Huayuan County received 80,000 strings of coins, they recruited more than 200 yamen runners at one time. Together with the original number, they were short of 300 people. They also bought some horses one after another, and less than half of them could ride on them to patrol. As for the newly recruited yamen runners who did not have horses, they could not be idle. Other than patrolling in shifts in the county, they had to train in the field that was set up by the yamen. At this time, the yamen runner who was walking on the periphery was a newly recruited yamen runner. He looked around vigilantly, as if everyone could hurt the county magistrate. It was obvious that he was a newcomer, and the old man would not be so obvious. Wang Wan felt the changes in the county and asked Zhang Xiaobao, who was a little absent-minded, beside her, "Xiaobao, Huayuan County has finished harvesting the winter wheat this time. Do you still want to continue planting the same as before?" Zhang Xiaobao now had too many things to consider, including what Wang Wan was talking about. After being touched by Wang Wan, he raised his head, thought carefully and said, "Let's plant some vegetables." Vegetables are not valuable elsewhere, but they can still be sold for a good price in the capital. Plant some cucumbers, eggplants, and other vegetables. We also need to plant many kinds of radishes. We can dry them in the shade and keep them for winter. We can't always rely on the same method of planting vegetables in winter. Wang Wan thought carefully and agreed. The capital was close to this place, and there was a large population. The consumption of vegetables every day was not small. It would take a long time to come back from the capital, but it would be faster to pull the vegetables over. There was no need to worry about the freshness of the vegetables. Bad vegetables could be fed to pigs and chickens. That's good. Then we have to send out the notice quickly. Otherwise, they will plant other things. After talking about this matter, the two of them continued walking. Wang Wan asked again, "They haven't done anything yet. We can't always be on guard, right? There are thieves for 1,000 days, but there is no such thing as guarding against thieves for 1,000 days. No, we still have to wait. We have already sent a letter of goodwill. Let's see what they will do. If they really live in the first family in Linshui for 2 days, we will send someone to talk to them.
First, we will discuss whether we can cooperate. If they can, we will sign the document and tell them some details. If they don't want to sign the document first, we will directly tell them the details we have prepared and let them play. Zhang Xiaobao did not seem to care much about the things over there. Usually, he was like this when he arranged things. Wang Wan pursed her lips and smiled. She hoped that those people would not agree to sign the document first. They must want to cheat the details and do it themselves. Then, she would see what they would do with the details. She had seen it herself. If she did not have some experience in this area, she would have been cheated. Zhang Xiaobao was too bad. The two of them spoke in a low voice. There were many people in the county, so it was noisy and no one could hear them. Only Zhang San saw the two children talking there and knew that what they were talking about was not a small matter. She took her son's little hand and said to the two of them, "When next year comes, we will have to repair the shops on both sides of the county. Some of them are so old that they can be blown down by a little wind. Tell me, how should we repair them?" Pedestrian street. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan thought of this at the same time. Now on the street, there were people driving carriages and people riding horses. It was too dangerous and smelly. In the future, they would let them take other roads and leave this place for people to stroll around. In particular, Zhang Xiaobao wanted to open a small supermarket here. As long as people strolled in, they would have a certain desire to buy something. Looking at his father's puzzled eyes, Zhang Xiaobao said, "It's a place where carriages and horses don't go. What if someone gets hit?" "Oh, that's fine." Zhang Zhong knew that his son couldn't say much at this time. He would ask about the future arrangements when he got home. Now, he just needed to know that they didn't go by carriages and horses. The group kept walking. As they walked, Zhang Xiaobao suddenly said, "Let's go back and write a letter to the people of the boat company. Let's give them another chance and let them take the initiative." "Well, let's do it." Only Wang Wan heard this and said that she wanted to go back. When Zhang Zhong was puzzled, he saw his son winking at him. He didn't hesitate to turn around and take people back to the yamen. After a few words with his son, he wrote a letter and asked someone to send it to the little Luoshui wharf. When the stars and moon rose, the people of the boat company also arrived at the first restaurant in Linshui. Looking at the bustling scene here, they were angry again. The more prosperous this place was, the more business they would get. The group went up to the third floor of the restaurant and chose the room that had a clear view of the wharf and the shops on the shore. They ordered a table full of dishes and ate as they looked. They looked at the dishes more often and were in a daze more often. However, they rarely ate. Occasionally, they would raise their cups and take a sip of wine. Basically, they didn't have much to say. When it was midnight, Guoran finally couldn't take this kind of depressing atmosphere. The wharf below was lit up with lanterns, and there were still boats stopping occasionally. People were coming and going. For people who knew the business, this was money. "Brother Wei Tong, hurry up and think of something. Last year, this place wasn't connected to the capital, so we could still bear with it. Now look, it's midnight, and it's still so busy. How much money have we lost?" Guoran couldn't take it anymore. He threw his chopsticks on the table and stopped eating. He sat there and looked down. His expression also changed. Everyone was thinking the same thing, but no one said it out loud. Now that Guoran mentioned it, they all gave ideas. Everyone thought about it and felt that it wasn't suitable. Another one was still not suitable. When they were almost done, everyone was helpless. They could only look at Mi Fan. He had a lot of ideas. Mi Fan was also worried now. He didn't know how to deal with the Zhang family. He couldn't even think about using force. It was also useless to use people from the government. Just as he was worrying, the door was knocked open by a waiter. He came in and said respectfully, "Everyone, the Zhang family has sent a letter to everyone. I wonder if everyone is willing to accept it?" Everyone was stunned. They had just sent a letter in the morning, and now there was another one. Did they regret what they did in the morning? "Let me see." Guoran extended his hand. "Give it to me."
When the waiter came closer, Mi Fan took the letter and opened it. She suddenly burst out laughing. After the waiter left, he said to everyone, "There's a way. The Zhang family still wants to cooperate with us in other areas, but they wrote out the most important thing. Ha 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 ha." You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.